Hello. Hi, Blake. Hi, the vibes. Ellen. Hey. Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Hi, Adrian. Hi, Callie Boy. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Simone. Mo. I'll be fucking your life. Potato salad. I'm glad you enjoyed them. I was trying not to live y'all to death, but you know, hot boy bright and early for this one. But when I connect a new thing, it was just like two plays on me. I'm getting the mood right, okay? Because today's video is going to be about Mars and what your Mars sign represents as far as your sexual desires, right? What you want in the bedroom, how you like it. So I'm getting y'all nice and ready, setting the vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's all in the vibe, you know. It's alright. Hey, hey. Hi, Royals mom. Missed it. Mars and Scorpio. I'm glad you liked it. Hey, Lilith. Eventually, I'm gonna give me some moderators. That's what I need. Amelia Kenzo. How you doing, honey? Capricorn Mars. Hey. Y'all drop your Mars sign in the chat. What I'm working with here. I got Scorpio Mars in the chat. Has entered the chat. It's alright. Pisces Mars. Excellent. Cancer Mars. Okay. Okay. Aries. I see you, Taurus. Mars and Gemini. Hey, esoteric mommy. All right, make sure y'all hit that like button as you come on into the chat. This is a grown folks conversation, so make sure them kids in the bed. Cause I feel it too, baby. I have Mars conjunct Pluto and Scorpio. Mars sextile Neptune, Venus sextile Mars. It's alright. How growing is knowing. That's what I want to do to you. My crush has a Pisces Mars, so I need. Oh yeah, let's give you the tea. Oh yeah. Soon as Avant wrap it up, we can go ahead and get started. Come on and show me, yeah. My Mars conjunct Venus and Leo. Oh. Okay. All right. Once again, hit the like button as you enter the chat. And as you can tell by the title, okay, today's video is going to be on your Mars sign. What does it tell you about your sexual desires? And the reason why I even created this video was because, well, number one, I got a lot of requests. But number two, I thought it would be kind of interesting to unpack that. And I do think astrology gives us a lot of room to learn about, of course, our psychological patterns, but also our sexual patterns. And you can learn a lot about someone through what they like, how they like it, right? And it's going to kind of be similar to a video I did maybe a year or two ago called Sex with the Signs. So if you guys have checked that out, feel free. Or if you haven't, go check that out. If not, I mean, you could just stay here. and we'll just ride it out. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and let's get started, shall we? So, starting right on with the first sign of the zodiac, Mars in Aries. So Mars is dignified in the sign of Aries because obviously it's in its natural sign of rulership. So and I also think I should specify as well, I'm speaking to the archetypes of these Mars signs, just because it also depends on how your Mars is aspected and where it's placed in the chart. That could potentially modify the expression of some of these qualities. So, for instance, if you have your Mars in Aries, which typically produces a high sex drive, but let's say it's placed in the 12th house, right? That could modify that expression. Okay, you somebody who is maybe a bit more asexual than you are sexual. But, so just keep that in mind, right? Or if you have like Mars squared Neptune or something like that. So it is important to know how your Mars is being placed in your chart. But nonetheless, Mars in Aries can produce a high sex drive, and it typically doesn't take much to arouse these people. Okay, and this is also because Aries, as well as that Martian energy, is very primal with deeply rooted psychological tendencies that make one predisposed to act on their urges, right? Sexual urges and impulses. So physical attractiveness with these people can really get you, like, they can really go a long way. So a person with their Mars and Aries, typically, especially like a man, oh my goodness, sees what he wants, like sees a fat ass or some nice titties, and he's ready to go. I mean, same thing goes with a woman with her Mars and Aries. These women can even be crass, right? People are very crass to the point. They see something, like it, and they tend to be chasers. So from a societal standpoint, this can make a lot of people look at women with displacement as promiscuous or like over the top, like, oh, she's fast, like she does too much. Because in a to a certain degree, these women can act a lot like men, you know. And don't be surprised if a Mars Aries person just comes to you just flat out and says, "Look, I want to fuck. So how are we going to make this happen?" Right? Mars and Aries is straight to the point, and with them, what you see is typically what you get. It can be downright aggressive, and in women, this can come off as being downright mannish or unladylike, but they just can't help it. They like what they like, and if they want you, they want you. But just that quickly, if they don't want you, they don't want you. They typically tend to thrive off of conquering. They love the chase, but if you give in too easily, so ladies, if you're dealing with a man with his Mars and Aries, make him work for it. Make him work for the cats, okay? Because if you give it up too easily, if you succumb too easily, or if you take it too far and maybe play too many games, he'll lose interest. So you have to find that sweet spot when Mars is in Aries. But however, these people, as it pertains to their sex style, they are very spontaneous. These are, hit me in the car, hit me, we can meet up in public and do a quickie type people. They love danger as well as new and shiny people, places, and things. Once in bed, these people like it rough, and their sex is often filled with lots of passion, and they're very physical. These people are apt to work up a sweat, and they are naturally athletic, like predisposed. So these could be people who are typically in good shape, or maybe they have a background in sports or something, or maybe they're just competitive flat out, okay, with that Mars and Aries energy. So sex is almost like a workout for them. Or they could like very, like I said, physical sex, different positions. When it's all said and done, y'all might need a couple glasses of water and some Gatorade. Now, these people do tend to be too impatient for foreplay because, once again, Mars and Aries energy likes to be straight to the point. And with Aries bringing about such a quick surge of energy and intensity, it's not uncommon for these people to burn out kind of quickly. So in a man's chart, this could produce uh a 1 minute man. Not saying all Aries Mars men are 1 minute like quick pumpers, but it could. It could. That could come about. Black Princess, yes, seems boring. What seems boring? Your Mars is in Virgo. Nurse in Jail says, I attract a lot of Virgo and Scorpio men, even though they get on my nerves. That's funny. So, yes, that's Mars in Aries, okay? So, Taurus Mars individuals typically need regular sex to feel secure. However, these people can be more so sensual as opposed to sexual. And I believe the other night I kind of got into this conversation with one of you guys because somebody mentioned that I think they were a Taurus Sun or Taurus Mars, and they said that a lot of people mistake them as being vanilla and like, and people think we're so cookie cutter and so on and so forth. When the truth of the matter is, not all Taurus Mars individuals are, but I do feel like they kind of get that reputation for being boring or cookie cutter because things can be so hit or miss with the Taurus Mars person, especially as it pertains to the bedroom. So these are people who need the scene to be just right, the mood to be just right, and they like for you to appeal to their senses. Which would be excellent for setting the mood. So, dim the lights, light a candle. Like I said, they're more so into the like romantic kind of intimacy portion of lovemaking as opposed to like the physical act of having sex. But unlike Aries Mars individuals, these people would be more likely to engage in foreplay. Whereas, as stated before, with Mars and Aries, they're like, look, let's just get straight to the point. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Taurus is like, let's enjoy the journey, right? Let's enjoy the ride. So especially for some Taurus Mars women, maybe they need foreplay, maybe they need certain things in order for them to feel comfortable enough to give up goodies. And it could take them a little bit longer to get warmed up. Um, but they also can enjoy the physicality of sex as it does create intimacy. And also, Taurus Mars individuals tend to stick to the same tried and true positions, which is another reason why I feel like they kind of get the reputation of being boring. Okay, because they like familiarity and they like, things that have kind of been, like I said, tried and true, things that are going to work, things that they're used to, things that they're comfortable with. So if a girl has her Mars and Taurus, and she's a missionary type of chick, that's just what she is. Foreplay makes me yawn just thinking about it. Yeah, I'm not that big on foreplay either, hi boy. I'm just not. But different strokes for different folks. All right. And they can also be kind of lazy in bed as well. I don't know if you guys saw Black China's sex tape that came out a few years back. Now, granted, I don't think she's a Taurus Mars, but she is a Taurus Sun. And yeah, that sex tape was weak sauce because she just had a dick in her mouth, and when she wasn't doing anything, she didn't do the little combo, the 2-hand combo. She was just like literally like the dick was just in her mouth, even when she was getting piped out. Like dude was just piping her, and she was just laying there. And I'm like, she's cute, but like you're not doing anything. Fucking back or something, damn. But that is a manifestation of that Taurus energy. They can be lazy, but a sure way to turn a Taurus Mars individual on is kisses to the neck. Okay. And they could also have some good head if they're not on the dark side, because Taurus also comes with like oral fixations. So just even with men, Taurus men or men with their Mars and Taurus might be able to eat some good coon, ladies. Take now their dicks might be a little on the small side. They might be a little bit on the small side. If a man has his Mars and Taurus, his penis might be a little compromised. So I guess even in that sense, it makes sense for him to give head, right? You gotta have something going. for you. You can't just like, I need something. What are we doing? What are we doing? Mine in Sagittarius, my Mars in Leo, 10th house. To be fair, I think Black China was caught on a bad moment. I'm sure she knows how to throw it back. I don't know, man. That shit had me questioning some things. I was like, wow, sis. Taking notes. Okay. So moving on to Gemini Mars. Gemini Mars individuals tend to approach sex with a childlike curiosity. And this is due to the fact that from an early age, these people could have been curious about sex. And many of them won't pass up the opportunity to satisfy that curiosity, which can also make your Gemini's Mars individual, especially in a woman's chart, come off as promiscuous. These are kids who maybe were caught hunching, in the back of the bus or playing hide and go get it on the playground with their friends. Right. These are kids who look to their other friends while they're younger to like give them information on sex and the birds and the bees and their bodies and so on and so forth. And as they grow up, that's kind of how they have this casual attachment to sex to where because everything is all about like a learning experience to them, it's easy for them to like smash and pass, like just fucking go, right? Which, for obvious reasons, like I said, depending on if you're male or female, can make people look at you in a certain way. Okay, but these people do make your ideal cut buddies. They tend to be very casual, playful, and open-minded. Their sexual preferences can also be pretty flexible and can border downright experimental, as they tend to have many varying sexual desires. So these are people who typically don't mind partaking in threesomes. More often than not, I'm going to say like 80% of the time when I look at a person with their Mars and Gemini, they're either bisexual, trisexual, meaning, I'm down to kind of just do whatever, whenever, or they enjoy. I remember this one gentleman who I know actually has a Gemini Mars, and he and his friends were known for running trains on girls when we were in college. So that's a perfect embodiment of that Gemini Mars energy. It could also physically be kind of flexible. So this more pertains to the women with their Mars and Gemini. So that acrobatic, kinky type sex where you're bending them into a pretzel and flipping them and popping them and slanging them and all of that good stuff. Gemini Mars women, they're down for it. Okay. And because Gemini also deals with communication, these people could also make excellent like sex operators, or at the very least, they might be particularly good at sexting, sending nudes, before you even have sex with them. These are the people who might talk a good game, like talk shit, talk shit. They're big chick talkers. I did have little boyfriends at a young age. Think like third grade. You're definitely curious. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Your Mars is in Pisces, ninth house. Okay. Gemini Mars in the third. Oh my. Okay. And so even with Gemini Mars individuals, like I said, they tend to be kind of promiscuous from my observations. Okay. Now, Mars in Cancer creates a strong sex drive with the desire to have constant sex on a frequent basis in order to completely feel satisfied. Okay. So Cancer Mars individuals typically have like a very high libido. And they also crave soft and tender lovemaking sessions as opposed to maybe like your Mars and Aries individual who likes sex and has a high sex drive, but they want like pound me. Okay, your Mars and Aries woman is like pound me out, daddy. But your Mars Cancer woman is more so like make love to me. Oh, baby, make love to me. Right? They like comfortability as well, things that feel good. They can appreciate music, candles. They could also even be the type to have like a playlist, a sex playlist, right? Or Cancer Mars individuals could even be the type of people, like, let's say they had some really bomb sex over the weekend, as they're walking throughout the day, or maybe a song plays or something that takes them back to that sex flashback. You know what I'm saying? They're those type of people. Or because they have all of these sexual flashbacks, it kind of keeps them coming to a certain person, like, even if they know they're not supposed to be with them. And to a degree, I guess you could say that could be everybody, but Cancer Mars individuals definitely can fall victim to that. They are also, more than any other sign, prone to be emotionally tied to their sexual partners. And they typically crave to be close to partners during sex. So even if you're talking about sexual positions, things like missionary, or I think they have a sex position called the crab, where like you and your partner are like, I think, like face to face, like on top of each other, very close together. You like Mars, Aries women? Yeah, me too, Casey. I think I did date a Mars Cancer girl, but she wasn't really as sexual. I guess I didn't do it for her. But also, it depends on how it's aspected too, Casey. And not for nothing, these are people who, Mars Cancer individuals can be very similar to Taurus in the sense that they can kind of be all over the place, right? Very moody. So maybe they want it right now, or they want it when they want it, and then once the mood is over, they're like, get out of my face. Married for 11 years, and for sure you're telling the truth. Can you speak on Virgo Mars? I'm getting to it. I'm gonna go in order. I just stopped to read the comments. Stop telling my business. That's funny. But yeah, so and then also every now and then, not to make it seem like shit is sweet with Cancer Mars individuals, some of them can enjoy and kind of get into like the dominatrix theme, right? I've also seen this produce same sex attraction as well, especially in a woman's chart. Also, in the bedroom, they can have an affinity for titties. So Cancer Mars men might even be the type to like the titty fuck. Maybe he'll bust on your titties or something like that. And a lot of Cancer Mars individuals tend to fantasize about getting pregnant. Even if it's like, consciously you don't want to get pregnant, when these people have sex subconsciously, I feel like they're like hardwired to want to procreate. Esther, this is that's you. That's you. Yes, definitely moving Mars, Cancer's Creed. That's funny. So yeah, now moving on to Leo Mars individuals. Now you have to think about it. Leo governs the fifth house of the birth chart, which directly deals with sex. So these people are very, very sexual, very sexual. And they could also be very aggressive in the manner in which they pursue sex, very similar to Aries. And this is something you'll find like a lot of fire signs tend to have. So if your Mars is in a fire sign, then typically you might be a lot more direct when it comes to matters in the bedroom, right? But nonetheless, Leo Mars individuals tend to be very flirtatious, especially the women, right? The ones who talk all this shit like, hey, daddy, I can do this, I can do that. I can do that, I can do that, I can do that, I can do, just wait till I get you home. Like those, that's the Leo Mars person, right? They also take pride in how they put it down, because a lot of their pride comes from quite literally like sex and even who they fuck. And men, Leo Mars men, you can like multiply this times 1,000. Leo Mars men put a lot of pride into their hit list, right? So you're not gonna see them smashing females unless they got the best. Or they could be the type of dude who brags to their friends, like, hey, you see Shorty over there? Yeah, I hit that. You see, old girl over there, I hit that. and love to put on the show. Yes, you do. So much of a show that a lot of women with their Mars and Leo are grade A fakers when it comes to orgasms. I know I shared one story about how this girl I was good friends with, she was actually a Leo sun. I'm not really quite sure of her Mars placement, but I hadn't had sex at that point in my life. So all I had to go off of was her and her experiences. And I would go out to the club or to parties with her, and then we'll meet some guys. And, to keep her from sending her to some nigga's house by herself, I'll go with her. And so while I'm with her, I'm sitting on the couch while she getting piped out upstairs. And all I would hear was, oh, 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 oh. I'm like, God damn, like, is it that good? Is it that? And I had no reference point. I was still a virgin, so I'm like, well, is this how you do sex? I guess that is how you do sex. Till I actually started having sex, and my boyfriend at the time was like, look, bitch, the dick is not that good. It's not that good. It's not that good. You gotta chill. And after that, I was like, you damn Leo bitches. Y'all got me embarrassed. Because they are dramatic. Dramatic. Okay? But nonetheless, yes, they take a lot of pride in the people they fuck. Like I said, the men tend to collect notches in their belts. And Taurus Mars men can do that too. So I meant to include that there. Now, to a guy with his Leo or his Mars in the sign of Leo, sex can often make him feel like a man, right? So if he's not getting it from you, this is the guy who will tend to stray. Okay. Because he likes that attention. He likes that sexual attention. He likes the feeling of, like I said, conquering a woman. So also that kind of very similar to that Mars Aries male as well. But they also the women with this placement could even like to make their men feel like kings in the bedroom. And Leo Mars individuals are competitive as well. So they could even be driven to show the other person who's boss. Now, one of the pitfalls of this placement is you can or they can be a little bit cocky concerning their sex game. So these are people who talk a lot of shit and then don't deliver or underperform, right? Because they just feel like in their head they got the game on lock. So that's something to be mindful of. That's something to be mindful of. She's probably pretending. I listen, she did that more than once. So unless she was pretending with everyone, I don't think she was pretending with everyone. She couldn't have been pretending with everyone. I think that's just I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she was just an extra person. So like I said, I was trying to copy her and ended up so embarrassed. Now, this brings me to Virgo Mars individuals. These people also have very high sex drives, and they often need sex in order to function and could look at sex as like a really good stress reliever. These people, Mars Virgo individuals, kind of have to learn how to this is one of the placements where these people, like, if they're not channeling their energy correctly, they can kind of malfunction. So they constantly need new ways for them to kind of like direct a lot of their mental energy. And for these people, sex could be a really good, like I said, stress reliever or just a really good way to channel that energy. They're also, listen, because I always tell y'all how I love Virgos. And this is why I love Virgo men, Sun and Mars. And this is because Virgo is the sign of service. So these people love to give. Like they're even in the bedroom, it's all about giving pleasure. These are the people who want to pleasure you before they even get off themselves. And they tend to be very skilled with their hands. So Virgo Mars men are the type of men who will like finger pop you, right? Men who are like literally like, did he just make me come his hands? Like, yes, yes. They're very tentative, careful, and thorough. These are people because they're perfectionists. They study their lovers. So they figure out how to push your buttons or they learn your body from head to toe. And it's like the worst thing you could do with a Virgo Mars person is not give them any response. right? Like whereas to like maybe if you're fucking like a Leo Mars guy, you do all the fake moaning and shit, right? It'll boost his ego, so he might fall for it. But the Virgo Mars individual guy anyway will look right through that. Or if he feels like he's not doing enough, or your leg didn't shake like it did the last time, like I said, he's gonna figure you out. And a lot of Virgo men know my body better than me, and that shit just that shit blows me, blows me. Also, Virgo's receptive nature makes like the men with Virgo, either Virgo Sun or Virgo Mars men, apt to try almost anything in the bed. These people can be very kinky with a lot of fetishes. A lot. I know a lot of Mars Virgo men who like butt play. Cancers do too. Cancers do too. Off of pleasing partners to a certain extent. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's a Mars Cancer trait too. Yeah. See. Uh-huh. So also moving right along to Libra. Okay, Libra Mars individuals. For these people, sex is just as much of like a mental game, a mind game, as it is a physical thing. And these are people, they might not be the most like the hypersexual type of people of the zodiac, but these are the types of people, like I said, who need to be intellectually stimulated, but also they're all about feeding into what their partners want. And like they crave constant feedback and I guess you could say like reassurance from their partners, especially for women, because these could be women with their Mars and Libra who might not really be like the most super sexed out type of freaky chicks, but if they get with a man who likes freaks, they're gonna go out of their way to try and be a freak. Like, oh, my man likes a freak. Let me go do this and that because my man is freaky. Also, just from a sheer physical standpoint, they do thrive off of stimulation to the lower back. So, if you plan on fucking a Mars Libra individual, that might be something you need to know. What was your Mars, Shayna? What was your Mars? So yeah, that's pretty much that on Mars and Libra. Like I said, I just find that they're not really that sexual. And if you do have your Mars and Libra and you are a very sexualized person, this is the part where I say you might want to check where your Mars is placed and how it's being aspected. Because maybe if you have like your Mars and Libra in the first house or something, and it's like, okay, well, you might be a little bit more sexual than a Libra Mars person, with it placed in like the fucking 11th house or something like that. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Mars, Scorpio, fifth house. Future is a Libra Mars. Makes sense. But Future also has other things going on. The man is a damn Scorpio Sun, Gemini Moon. So, I mean, hey. Oh, you're a Virgo Mars. I'm trying to find my placement. Mars conjoined to the ascendant. Yeah, those people with Mars in the first house or conjunct the ascendant can be a lot more sexualized than others. Hi, rendezvous, sunrise. I'm sexual mind in the fourth house, trying Uranus. Oh yeah. Oh, so you might like some kinky stuff with that Uranus influence. Future like his butt toss. I heard. Well, we gonna get on that. We're gonna get on that energy there in a minute because that's very Scorpio of him. Sag Mars conjoined to your Sag rising. Okay, let me hop back into the mix. So, yeah, so now we have made our way to Scorpio Mars. Now, as a Scorpio Mars native myself, I can attest to the fact that much like, Mars and Aries, because it's also unified here, because Scorpio is co-ruled by both Mars and Pluto. Scorpio Mars individuals have a very high sex drive, and sex can be tied to our sense of self and emotional well-being. Without it, there tends to be a void. So these people are your chronic masturbators. Okay, these are people who, from an early age, probably explored their body parts and are very much engulfed and addicted to like the intensity of sex. So I've seen a lot of people with this placement, including myself, be big on like angry sex, makeup sex. That's like one of my most toxic traits in a relationship. I enjoy fighting a nigga and making up, because that is the epitome of that Scorpio Mars. It's so, like I said, dynamic, and it's fueled off of intensity. These people can literally be like, in a woman's chart, she can attract like love hate relationships with men where y'all are so fucking dysfunctional and toxic. But the sex, girl, the sex, that sex, that sex hit different when it's toxic. It hits just a little different. Okay. But also, Scorpio Mars individuals could be addicted to orgasms. Okay, because Scorpio is all about the orgasm, whereas Taurus is about like, like the physical act of sex and everything it takes to get up to that point. Scorpio is the culmination of that energy. So, um, like I said, these people can be very big on like, these are the people who, when you have sex, they want to come again and again and again and again and again and again. Okay, and again, give me that again, like, because Scorpio does deal with endurance. Um, they could crave, like I said, intensity in a large range of dynamic experiences. So Scorpio Mars individuals or Scorpios, this is where they get their reputation for being so freaky, kinky. They could be into being choked, BDSM, like legit rape, like simulating rape. Like, don't judge me, y'all, but I kind of got this thing where I like to feel like I'm being raped. If I don't feel like I'm being raped, then we're not really having sex here. We're just kind of like playing. That's a manifestation of that Scorpio Mars placement as well. There could be an inner desire to act on forbidden fantasies. Okay, these people could also have a penchant for anal sex, both men and women. And I mean, because Scorpio does deal with the anus. On your dark side, like if you want to get dark, because Scorpio does deal with like deviancy and things that are like forbidden. If you want to get super dark with it, some of these people could be into shit like, pissing and shit in the bedroom. I don't know what you call it, but just all kind of stuff, all kind of nasty stuff. They could be very big into like the pain is pleasure, like I said, being choked. And Scorpio Mars individuals love the scent. Like they thrive off of like their partner's pheromones. Those it's not necessarily like a body odor, but it's like everybody has their own distinct scent. This is why, like, if 5 people are wearing the same cologne, it'll smell different on each person because it mixes differently with like your body chemistry. Let me see. I'm a Virgo. I can't do the piss and do. I can't do the piss and do either. Look, I'm good on that. But choking is good. Just don't kill me. Ah, yes, he does like my son. No PP, no doo like Trick Daddy said. What did Trick Daddy say that? Ah, but yeah, so that's Scorpio Mars. Um, and moving right along to Mars and Sagittarius. These people tend to have a large sexual appetite as well, but their sexual appetite is more so playful, adventurous, and these are the people who are down to try anything, like at least once. And very similar to their opposing sign of Gemini, they also kind of approach sex with like this kind of curiosity, right? Um, and it could also make them kind of promiscuous as well. especially the women once again. And I also say just Sagittarius in general, just as an archetype, because it deals with expansion, more, right? A wide variety, a plethora of different things, placing it in a planet like Mars, which governs your sexual desires, especially in a man's chart. These are your full blown hoes. These are some of the biggest hoes of the zodiac, okay? They could also be kind of competitive and physical, like maybe Aries and Leo Mars individuals. Sex with a Sagittarius Mars person is typically very physical, but also fun. Just fun, very spontaneous. Just like Mars and Aries. These people could be down for, you know, fuck it. Let's have sex in the I don't know, hallway. Let's go outside and have sex. Let's go to a party and have sex. Whereas you're like Mars Taurus person is like, nah, just take the shit to bed. Mars and Sagittarius is like, nah, like right here, right now. So that they can also be viewed as promiscuous, but they love quickies. And these are like destination type uh fuck, fuckers, I guess. They like to like fuck like out of town and like do the whole vacation thing. You know, get you a Sagittarius or like a babe with his Mars and Sagittarius, and y'all could travel the world and fuck. I mean, once Rona is over, you know, there might be a move. There might be a nice little move. Also, I've noticed men with their Mars and Sagittarius, or like let's say like their Mars is positively aspecting Jupiter, they tend to have big dicks. Big dick zaddy. I feel attacked. Ain't. What about me? I have Capricorn Mars. I'm getting to it. That's next. Okay. So Capricorn Mars individuals tend to be very selective about their sexual partners. And this often comes from this tendency to be very I guess you could say concerned with their reputation and their standing. These people be very like on the surface level. I feel like people sleep on Capricorn Mars individuals, like, oh, you know, you're uptight. And they may come off as being uptight or annoying or just like a prude. But behind the scenes, these people can be down, dirty, filthy, nasty, stanky. Maybe not stanky. Well, maybe stanky because Capricorn Mars does enjoy like earthy smells, like musty smells. Like a Capricorn Mars man would be the type of a man who wants to like fuck you after you just left the gym while you're sweaty and nasty. You know what I mean? But yeah, they could definitely catch you off guard. So you can't judge a book by its cover. These people could also have very sadistic or like masochistic tendencies. So they are definitely Capricorn Mars is definitely big on like I said what BDSM and whips and chains and let me punish you. But on the contrary, and I've noticed this is more so with women with their Mars and Capricorn, they're the type to like if they get mad, they'll cut you off. Like they'll withhold sex as a punishment. How many of y'all with Capricorn Mars do that? I was a woman well endowed. I mean, well, I would think her titties, maybe well endowed breasts. I don't know, or maybe she got a fat cat, like Cali Boy said. So true. I can't do angry makeup sex. Yeah, yeah. A lot of Capricorn Mars women is like, oh, he acting up, huh? Well, Miss Kitty Cat, me and Miss Kitty Cat gotta go. I'm not fucking you until I'm feeling you. But you know what? I feel like having a fat cat and a guy having a big dick is two completely different things. I mean, it's like, okay, it's nice if a girl got a fat cat, but I still got a hoe. So all you need is the hoe. What about women Mars, Sag, and a man Mars? So a woman who's a Sagittarius Mars and a man who's a Scorpio Mars together. I mean, that could be a good combination. I mean, it could be fun. It could be fun. as long as the guy, which I mean, I don't know if that you be rich, doesn't use sex in order to like try to manipulate her or something like that. Like once I put this D down on her, she gonna be mine forever. And she's gonna be like, no, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Scorpio Mars, that's something else about Scorpio Mars individuals that I meant to mention. We tend to use sex, and I guess you could say the dark sided ones, right? Tend to use sex as a tool of like manipulation and power. I know I do. I know I do. Because once I fuck a nigga, I want your social security card. I want you to give me all your bank statements. Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. That's true. I'm a Capricorn Mars, and my ex is an Aries Mars. I love you too, be rich. But it just is what it is. What about Mars and Libra, Virgo Mars? I just did those. So rewind this video a little bit, Sierra. Are you presently doing personal charts online? No, I'm not, Audie Rose. Not like right here, right now. Hold on, y'all. I got a phone call. Hello? Hey, boo. I'm on live. Okay, I'm gonna call you back. Okay. I can't wait to hear Mars and Aquarius. Okay, here I go. So let's go ahead. Let's see. Aquarius Mars individuals. Now, this is another placement where it could go both ways because I tend to find Mars and Aquarius to be not super sexual, or at the very least, these could be people who can go a long period of time without sex or be asexual altogether. Like, or even if you have like an Aquarius in the fifth house or something, these people could go a long time without sex. However, you have your other side of the aisle, which are people who are like they take more of that experimental approach to sex and their sexuality. So these are people very similar to Gemini Mars who could be at for like orgies, group sex. This is also one of the main indications of same sex attraction. Um, yeah, definitely. And they could also have sexual desires that could be just very particular or downright weird or even perverse. Now, of course, that's in extreme cases because Aquarius is a sign of perversion. So I mean, when I look at like child molesters and sexual deviants, they tend to have a lot of afflictions to like their Aquarian energy or Scorpio energy. But once again, this is not to say every person with their Mars and Aquarius or Mars and Scorpio is a sexual deviant. And actually, like deviancy doesn't necessarily mean anything that's terrible. I mean, it could, obviously, but deviancy literally just means outside of the norm, right? So like these people can like weird like, and I always use Kevin Gates as that example. If you were on my last live, I was talking about how Kevin Gates is a dark sided Aquarius because he was the one who made eating booty mainstream. So that's very Aquarius. Very Aquarius. Very, very, very Aquarius. Like, yeah, I eat booty. And there's some he said he would drink his wife's piss. And I'm like, oh wow. Oh wow. Like okay, you're crazy. But that's that Aquarius shit. They could they could just be weird or get turned on by weird shit where it's like, oh, my partner has like my baby got sexy ears. When I see him walk through the door with his ears looking like that, you'd be like, okay, girl. If that's how you get your rocks off, then I guess. These people are also really big in like on sex toys too, because you have to think about that Aquarius energy. Aquarius deals with electronics. So especially in a woman's chart, if her Mars is in Aquarius, she could be very big on like vibrators or, little like sex toys and gadgets. Maybe they might even be big on like porn or like, you know, online stuff. What's that website that everybody's on now to make money? Is it like a fans only or something like that? They could be those type of people. I think it's called fans only. I don't know. Oh no, he's a savage. He is a savage. I don't even savage isn't even the right word. Only fans. Only fans. Yes. Yes. Aquarius Mars people could be into that. OnlyFans, yeah. Yeah, so like I said, I've seen both sides of the aisle play out. So either they're kind of like asexual, or they could be, like I said, sexual, but they kind of have a weird way that they like to get their rocks off. When Moon is in Aquarius, does that make his onto all that love? Huh? Drinking somebody pee? I don't know about exact. Look, it's waste for a reason. I don't do bodily waste. Okay, I can't fuck with it. So shit, piss, you can miss me with it. I'm so good on that. Now, cum is different. That's a different story. That's a different story. Grab a cup. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me shut up. Premium Snapchats are also the thing now too. Right. Yeah. So yeah. I forgot. So Sagittarius also deals with semen. So Mars Sagittarius individuals could be big on like the men could be big on like face painting, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. That type of thing. Like, ooh, paint my face, daddy. And then finally, Pisces Mars individuals. These people tend to have kind of low sexual libidos, but they can also be like, I noticed women with their Mars and Pisces can kind of be like Taurus Mars individuals in the sense that I've seen it produce very lazy people in bed, or they can be just very fickle. Okay, a lot of these people tend to have a lot of paranoia or subconscious fear surrounding sex. They could also be abstinent for long periods of time, or just be the type of people where it's like I can have sex, but things have to be just right. They have to be just right. I like a certain type of thing. I like a certain type of style. I like a certain type of woo, 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 woo. However, once they're in it, these people could love to appeal to fantasy. So these are your role playing individuals, like in the bedroom, right? If you fuck a guy with his Mars and Pisces, he might be like, "Look, babe, like, where's that nurse outfit you got? Let's play like I got corona and I'm in the hospital and you the nurse, and then you come and you just sit on my face." Like those are those type of guys. Also, I don't know where my gentleman in the chat who had like this grade A foot fetish, but that definitely is indicative of that Piscean energy. A lot of Pisces Mars men have grade A foot fetishes. So if you're still here in the chat, feel free to fill me in on your Mars placement, or do you have any Pisces energy anywhere? Because that could be where that's coming from. These people could also be very big on porn as well, especially the men, which could be an issue because it could create problems with intimacy. Okay, because a lot of people, if you guys notice people who are like porn addicts and stuff like that, they have problems actually engaging with people on a one-on-one basis, which for obvious reasons, it could be a problem. Pisces Sun men love feet. Yeah, this could be applicable to Pisces Sun as well. They love a girl with some pretty feet, licking on feet. You're Pisces Mars? Okay. Okay. Well, there you go. Yes, there goes your foot fetish. And like I said, they tend to like porn too a lot. Women, are in it like, but you just kind of gotta prime them. You gotta prime the Pisces Mars woman to kind of get in that mood. And when she's in that mood, she'll be good to go. But they're typically just in general, they're not like the sexiest, or maybe not sexiest, but they're not the most sexually driven people in the chart. Nick going brazy in the chat. Oh, I'm trying to tell you, bruh. Nigga, I hope you find some good feed. And I actually like having my toes sucked, but like, but Lucy's Mars, that's a good question. Let's take a look. I think he's a Capricorn Mars, but he also has a lot of Scorpio energy. Let me see. I'm looking at Boosie's chart right now. Boosie badass. What's the baby's Mars? Let me see. Well, let me look at Boosie's first. Little Boosie has a. Yeah, I was right. His Mars is in Capricorn. You like your toes sucked too, Princess Naya? Or is it Nia? I'm sorry. Hey, Marilyn, you been washing the dishes, washing the damn dishes. What do you think Pisces Mars in the eighth house? I think that in the eighth house, it can create a hypersexualized person. Lots of fetishes, lots of fantasies. It could definitely create a person who is like very big on what is it? It's like, how do I describe it? These are people like when you finally unlock their sexual desires, it could kind of even be like unlocking a Pandora's box with that Mars Pisces in the eighth house. That's actually a very sexual placement. Is that you? Because I'm scared. You a freak like that, like that? Hey Meg, do you know the compatibility by the Mars or Venus placements? Um, yeah, I can do synastry by reading somebody's like Mars versus like their Venus signs. There are a lot of different I guess components that come into play when you're doing like synastry readings or compatibility in astrology. Scorpio Mars individual's first house. It's pretty much the same effect. They can be very sexual, but they can actually be a lot more forthcoming about it than your like stereotypical Mars or Scorpio Mars individuals. Like these are people who like on the outside, they kind of have this like je ne sais quoi about them. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this where you looked at somebody and they look like sex. Like they have like this look to them. And because of that very reason, a lot of people with like who are Scorpio ascendant, they have like you said Scorpio Mars in the first house or a conjuncta ascendant or something like that. They could be big on like you might even attract sexual harassment or encounter shit like molestation because even from a very young age, even if you were like too young to even know what sex was, or like, you there's like subconsciously. Let me be careful with what I'm saying. I'm not saying children exude like children are asking for fucked up shit like that. I'm just saying from an energetic level, these people, if you have Scorpio first house, Scorpio ascendant, you could kind of attract that energy and people who are like perverts or like predators can prey on it. Or you could just find yourself like attracting people without even like thinking about it. That type of thing. Most Aquarians are trendsetters. Yeah. Yep. They are. They are. They are. Wait, Nick, what did you just say? What do my feet smell like? Nick, this is what we're not gonna do. I ain't doing this with you. I ain't doing this with you. He trying to be his meat with feet. Listen, I uh. And I actually, like I said, I like having my feet stuck, but you like feet a little bit too much for me, Nick. Because if I meet a guy and it's like he like feet that much, that means you suck everybody's feet, you fuck with everybody's feet. Like I like getting my ass ate too, but I don't want no dude who leads with, "Oh, I love booty. I love eating booty." Because I mean, now you sitting there and you're dating a guy and you're like, okay, does this nigga eat everybody ass? You want to feel like this is something that I got him doing for me. You don't want to feel like, okay, he suck everybody feet, he eat everybody ass. That's nasty. No sir. Nigga, got the strongest immune system. I'm trying to tell you, we need to get a hold. The CDC need to get a hold of Nick so we can get some of them antibodies and fucking fight the coronavirus for once and for all, my nigga. This man finna save some lives because that immune system is ironclad. I'm trying to tell you. Pisces, Mars, sixth house. Are you new to the chat? Genesis, I did Mars and Pisces. But in the sixth house, I will say this. Specifically, Pisces, Mars, individuals are not that like sexually driven, right? As far as their libido. But placed in the sixth house, this can actually create a person who kind of thrives off of that. Like sex has to kind of be a part of your, it could be like a big escape for you. This could even be the placement of somebody who's a sex addict, straight up. That Pisces Mars in the sixth house, I've seen that produce sex addicts. You in the wrong, but not everyone's as selfish. Nick, no, makes sense. Mars, Sag, first house. Pisces are good and bad. They can be. I would imagine they can be. Anybody could be good and bad. But if I had to like roll the dice though, I like Sagittarius Marsman for the D, Virgo Mars, and then Scorpio Mars. He giving y'all a bad name. Yeah, we might have to, because Nick, you doing the most. Pisces man give great head too. I noticed like Pisces men, I feel like they could give good head too. Because like I see where that comes into play because I feel like they could be what do you call it? Like very soft and gentle in the bedroom too, if they want to be. Libra Mars, man. Look, I put him in timeout, y'all. He working my nerves about the feet. He working my nerves about the feet. But, Libra Mars men tend to be. I find that they tend to be like womanizers, big time. So these could be men who like study. I feel like these are men who aren't really like your most committed. They're not really committed type of dudes, but like in the bedroom, I don't know. Have y'all had sex with a person, a dude with his Mars and Libra? I feel like he could be good though, because Libra is literally the sign of the opposite sex. And these are men who, because they typically deal with skinny women, are good at studying a woman's body type of thing. Same thing with your Cancer Mars man. So possibly they could be good lays. I don't know. I've never fucked anybody with their Mars and Libra. No, I haven't because you a virgin. I wouldn't even look his way. He's good. Libras are lazy. And I could see that too with that Venus influence. They could be lazy. Or Libra Mars women at least could even be the types to be like, well, my hair's not done. I don't like they want to feel sexy before they have sex. And if they don't feel sexy, they can't have sex. Does your rising sign affect your sex life? It can, because your rising sign deals with your physical body, quite literally. Libra Mars men give Libra women a bad reputation. Them Libra Mars men are something else. They are something else. Yeah, but your rising sign can affect your sex life. It just depends on like like what is going on, like how is it being aspected. 'Cause let's say, for instance, maybe you are a let's say you're Aries ascendant and it's squaring your, I don't know, it's squaring your Neptune or something like that. Then you might be one of those people who are not as sexually, responsive as your stereotypical Aries ascendant. Or you may not be as forward or comfortable and secure enough to like walk up to a person and be like, "Hey, can I have a crumb of pussy, please? May I have a crumb of pussy?" Man, you might not be so comfortable doing that. Please explain how your rising sign affects your body. Well, your rising sign is your body, period. It is your physical body. So, depending on what is doing, a lot of astrologers can deduce a person's physical characteristics. So, for instance, this is why a lot of people who have Jupiter negatively aspecting the ascendant can be fat. Or I've seen a person who has maybe like Sagittarius ascendants, not all, but a lot of them can either be fat or like really tall, or like people who have Saturn negatively aspecting their ascendant can be short, um, things like that. Or people like Aquarius ascendants, they tend to look like aliens, so on and so forth. I'm glad you're having a good time, Be Rich. I am too. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button too if you're having a good time. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Why is my phone blowing up? I hear Aquarius risings have lanky body. Um, I guess nah, I don't know about that. I know that Aquarius risings, like I said, tend to look like aliens a lot of times, and I mean that in the best way possible. Scorpio risings tend to have a very intense look. Like they can have, especially eyes. Like you could tell when you're looking at a Scorpio ascendant, because those my daughter is a Scorpio ascendant, and she has a set of eyes that can pierce right through you. They just have this look to them. It's like very edgy, very, and they could even like, depending on how it's aspected and like the condition of their Venus or something. These are people who could be like goths, or like edgy tattoos, piercings. Like they just kind of give you that, you know, that look about them. Nicki Minaj is an Aquarius. Yeah, she wait. Nicki Minaj, she's a Capricorn Mars. She's a Capricorn Mars. Cancer rising individuals can be they're soft. They're very soft type of people because they're governed by the moon. So I tend to notice that they can have round faces. All of the women have little pudges, like on their bellies, like little pouches. Even if you're not fat per se, right? You could be otherwise like a slender person, but Cancer ascendants tend to have like little pouches. I've noticed they've also have like big titties. Even the men could be like softer looking, squishy looking. They can put on weight easily. Very similar to Taurus descendants. Libra risings are typically very attractive unless your ascendant is kind of afflicted. And they have, because I'm a Libra rising, I mean, not to toot my own horn. I mean, because obviously there are always going to be people out there who look better than you. So I'm not saying I'm just the bee's knees, but we have very symmetrical features. So like your eyes tend to be like evenly spaced apart. Like your nose kind of is sitting right there where it's supposed to be, like very even. Like, have you seen somebody, even if you didn't deem them to be just sexy or nothing like that, it's like, even if they're regular looking, it's like your face is very well put together. That's a Libra ascendant. Leo risings look like lions, Be Rich. look like lions. I can't describe it. Don't ask me like how, but they look like lions, dog. Like they look like lions. Like or they can have a very like regal kind of presence. And they can be kind of stocky too, actually. Like the women or men, I guess, like broad shoulders kind of thing. Like they can have a very statuesque appearance, very striking people. So very similar to Scorpio ascendants. Leo ascendants can be very striking. You a Leo rising, see, right? Sag risings. Like I said, Sag risings tend to be either tall, fat, or these are people who can put on weight easily. And as far as like areas of vulnerability, like if you have like negative transits to your ascendant or something, like a difficult transit to the ascendant, y'all can hurt your legs easily, your thighs. Oh, y'all might have like a fat ass too. Not always, but um Sagittarius ascendants can. I mean, even Sagittarius suns in general. I need to look into that because it's a lot of Sagittarius women have big asses, or at least like nice asses. Because you got to think about Sagittarius. It's little mascot is the man to have horse, Centaurian, half horse, half person. So a lot of times these women they got some wagon they dragging back there. You know what I'm saying? Kim K, I think she is a Sagittarius rising, and that's a great example. Did you see her when she was pregnant with Northwest? Did y'all see Kim K when she was pregnant with Northwest? Listen, there's a reason why they walk around eating damn grass and salads. Because if she really let herself go, Kim Kardashian can put on some weight. Look at Lion looking for real. Taurus rising women are very similar to Cancer women in the sense that they can put on weight very easily, but they're also like they can also be kind of stocky in their appearance, or just be very strong people, very strong, like physically strong. You can lift heavy, pull heavy, or like even if they gain weight, I notice that they tend to look good. It still looks good on Taurus ascendants. They can also like do the most, and once again, it depends on how their ascendant is being aspected, but they tend to do the most when it comes to like accessorizing and stuff. Leo ascendants do too. It's like for what I can't really speak for men because obviously I'm not a man. But for women, it's like you can tell when you see like a Leo ascendant or a Taurus ascendant woman because like she got on like hella jewelry, like her outfits are like flashy, gaudy, like Taurus women over accessorize. And I'm like, girl, you did not need that. You got like 7 layers of what the fuck on. You're short and fat Taurus rising. Yeah, y'all accessorize a lot. Like it's like, I mean, it's cool, but I'm just like, listen now. Why are a lot of famous people Leo rising? That's because Leo is the sign of the celebrity be rich. And it can actually make a person very popular. And you have to think about what celebrities are. They are popular, very popular. They attract a very large following. So yes, I've seen a lot of Leo influence in the celebrity's birth chart. There's also a lot of Pisces influence in celebrity birth charts. I'm trying to see what else. Mostly Leo and Pisces. Juno, you got Juno and Leo conjoined to your ascendant. Juno is the asteroid that deals with the prevalent themes in your relationships. So the fact that you have it conjoined to your ascendant could mean that you attract relationships where it's like the girl has to be the apple of your eye. Like when you're in love, like you're in love. You might be the type to want to do things, or you could attract women like that. Like they want to do everything together. You want them to shower you with all the attention, or vice versa. It's almost like y'all become the same person when you're in a relationship. What about Pisces rising? Pisces rising people tend to be, you have two types. And I always say this to be true when it comes to the Pisces archetype in general. You have like hippy dippy Pisces, and then you have like the more materialistic ones. So I noticed that Pisces, like rising people, can be super glitzy, glammy. Like in a woman's chart, this could be a woman who like likes to do her makeup and nails and very big on like contouring and whatever the fuck. Or it could be like, your Erica Badu, that lady, like the vibe, I'm a what do you call it? Hipster, mother of the earth, child of the earth, flower child. Like those are the two like Pisces archetypes I've seen. So placed on the ascendant, that's kind of and once again, depending on how it's aspected, that's kind of what you get. Because you're the realistic Pisces, very glitz and glamour and like over the top. You have Juno on top of your Libra sun. Oh, dang. So that could produce a person who like defines themselves with their relationships too. But reciprocity could be a big issue in your relationship. So I mean, I feel like that could make you like a doormat in your relationships. So you might want to be careful. You might want to be careful. Sun shining the ascendant. Well, that typically just means that the way that you present yourself and then, what really motivates you as a person or like who you really are as a person are like they mesh with one another. Your expressiveness versus who you portray to be on the surface level, which is what your ascendant sign represents, are kind of they work in tandem with one another. What sign is your Mars and ascendant, or are your Mars and ascendant? Right. Great break from Corona. Oh. Michael Jackson was a Pisces rising. Was he? Let me take a look. Because once again, you also have to think about how the ascendant is being aspected too. But even with him being a Pisces rising, that could even just deal with him being like famous, super famous. What does Neptune and Uranus and Capricorn in the 12th house? Neptune and Uranus in the well, that can produce a person who is often very isolated, or who feels like I've seen a lot of social outcasts with that placement. So maybe you have issues with friends, Marilyn, or you've experienced issues with friends or fitting in the groups and stuff like that. Or maybe there could be a lot of secrets that you keep, a lot of fears and phobias that come on from like usually past life experiences. I've also seen this produce somebody who like sleep is like very important, will be very important to you in this lifetime. You're a Gemini sun, Capricorn moon. What type of person is that? Well, with you being a Gemini sun, I feel like you kind of got a little bit. You got a little bit of the what do you call it? Like it's kind of like the kid and you're like a kid and adult stuffed in one person's body. Like, because most Geminis are often very playful, that mercurial influence, very outgoing, very inquisitive, childlike. But then that Capricorn moon could kind of give you a dry sense of humor. You probably have issues with depression too, with that Capricorn influence. You might be a lot more responsible and driven, or maybe even a lot more disciplined than your stereotypical Gemini, because Geminis can kind of be all over the place. Not really, but you do feel the need to be alone at times and your boyfriend doesn't get it. Well, that could be very important for you with that Neptune and Uranus in the 12th house, though. It could also deal with you having, like, you might need to be mindful of the people that you hang around as well. Um, because I've seen it produce people who, like, basically you can find yourself in friendships to where it's like you might be letting people in who shouldn't be let in. Um, yeah. It could also even deal with you having boundary issues. Do you have issues with setting boundaries with people, Marilyn? I want to eat my chips, but I don't want to crunch on y'all like that. But I can't help it. Sun, moon, Pisces in the 12th. Very secretive, Avery. Very secretive. And in your own little world. I'm telling you, people with very prominent 12th house placements, sun, moon, 12th house, um, can be your ultimate misfits. This is why how you know all of this studying. Be rich. I've been studying astrology for maybe 4 years now. And I mean, even still, there's a lot that I have yet to learn. Because to keep it a buck with you, it's people who have been astrologers for like upwards of 30 years who still don't know everything there is to know. So, but it does take practice and just studying. Sun, moon, Capricorn, sun in the 6th house. Who is this? Sun in the 6th house, 5th house, moon. I know dating probably could be difficult for you, Casey. You might go long periods of time of being like being single and shit. Do you like older women? Do you feel like you attract older women? I'm about to give me some more wine, y'all. Hold on. Oh, I'm back. I'm back. Do I study numerology? A little bit, but it's not my specialty. If you want to check out somebody who's really good with numerology and degrees, y'all should watch Rabina Rastafan. I mean, she's an expert astrologer as well as my mentor, and she is amazing. What kind of chips am I eating? I'm eating chickpeas. It's like they're full of protein. I call myself trying to be healthy as I sip on wine, right? Organic chickpea puffs is what they are. You attract older women, Casey. You like your tenders a little seasoned. Ain't nothing wrong with that seasoned little puss. Seasoned puss. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, y'all. I heard of her. Yep, she's dope. She is dope. She's dope. She's dope. She's dope. Venus sextile Uranus in the natal chart can bring about really like substantial friendships, especially with women. What if you have a Gemini Venus in the Gemini South? No, your relationships are very, very karmic. You might have very karmic relationships, and specifically with women. Um, it could also bring about like a lot of issues with siblings too, or family, like cousins and so on and so forth. You might even also find that you need to because that Gemini and Venus conjunct South Node, you might even find that you tend to what do you call it? Like spread yourself too thin. Especially when it comes to like making money or something. You got like a lot of different hustles. Mars conjunct Pluto, that could be kind of challenging. Um, because it can create like power struggles. Like in a woman's chart, this could be power struggles with men, or just in a person's chart in general. It can often bring you in contact with people or situations where it's like you're constantly either trying not to, how do I put this? Like you're constantly trying to keep people from asserting dominance or forcing their will onto you, or you could be the type of person who spends a lot of your time asserting your will or forcing your will onto other people, that type of thing. It could also make you somebody who asks for a lot of advice but you don't take it, Shayna. That placement. What about Venus Cancer when Capricorn dominates your chart? If you have Venus and Cancer, I'm gonna keep it funky with you. Cancer, Venus people are typically like some of the most, and I guess this is just my opinion, but like it can make you very needy, or you can attract needy partners, especially if you have mostly like Capricorn influences in your chart. Maybe you attract needy partners or feel the need to like subconsciously. Maybe you attract people who like remind you of your mother or some shit. My best friend is a Cancer, but his houses are all in the 10s. Huh? I attract overly possessive people who are less driven than me. That could be that too, though, because Cancer is very absorbent, and it could create situations to where like it's very difficult for you to get over somebody, like relationships, or vice versa. Pluto sextile Sun, Sun in the sixth house, Pluto in the eighth house. That can actually be really good as far as making you very prominent or influential in your career. Oh no, I'm a simp. Starts on Mars in the third house of Libra. Very intellectually and communicative. That's like the placement of like your quintessential sapiosexual. Like you getting turned on by the way a person thinks. And that might be how you study people too. Venus trine Pluto could be also really good for friendships. It could also be good for unearned sources of income. Mars in the second house of Scorpio is also good for attracting unearned income as well. It could also create a person who has like there's this karmic need to like reinvent yourself. And it could also create a person like I've also noticed that Mars and Scorpio second house can produce a person who is like, what do you call it? Like their sense of self is kind of like constantly evolving. And if you're not careful, you can like find yourself on like this self-destructive kind of like path. Mars in the second house, Leo. I've seen a lot of teachers with that placement, or people who really like kids. Allie boy, what's your question? Venus sextile Saturn, late bloomer. Not necessarily. That could also be really good for making money though. It could also give you some really good relationships with older people too. A Scorpio sun, first house. Leo moon, 10th house. Scorpio ascendant. Well, for one thing, let's talk about Scorpio ascendant, shall we? Well, if you have your Leo moon 10th house, first of all, you like attention. Those Leo moons, especially placed in the 10th house, they make either excellent bosses or people who can run their businesses. But let's talk about Scorpio ascendants, shall we? Scorpio ascendants have a reputation. These are people who like can evoke very strong reactions out of people. It could be like even without them trying, even just unknowingly. These are people who kind of have like this mysterious aura to themselves, and people can either really like you or really hate you. Neptune square the ascendant. In my findings, I find that it often produces like inferiority complexes. It's the wine, y'all. Excuse me. People who have like issues with their identity. And it could also make you very sensitive and receptive. Like that's a very psychic kind of aspect. But because it's a square, it could kind of play out in the negative way most times. These people can be very sensitive to what other people do, think, say. Sagittarius rising. Um, in the sense of like personality wise, the thoughts on that. Sagittarius rising people, I mean, because you're governed by Jupiter, a lot like the theme of your life is going to be centered around evolving spiritually. So these people can be very philosophical. They can share a lot of just Sagittarius qualities in general, being very preachy, being very adventurous. They can kind of approach certain situations as like the more having the moral authority, which kind of makes them kind of annoying. Jupiter and Moon in Sagittarius, 11th house, can make you a very, very what do you call it, Marilyn? Um, like a person who marches to the beat of your own drum. Very eclectic personality. It can also make you very like progressive as far as like your values and stuff go. You might be very futuristic in a lot of ways. That could also I've seen that aspect create a person who has a lot of distance between themselves and their family, like either physical distance or maybe there could be something unusual about your relationship between you and your family, or maybe you got to travel to go see your family or something like that. I've also noticed a lot of Sagittarius moons grew up in a very multicultural environment. So maybe you grew up, where there were a lot of people speaking a certain language or different languages, or maybe you just have a fondness and appreciation for other cultures or something like that. Mars squaring Uranus in the natal chart. That can often indicate like it depends. Like in a man's chart, whenever I see Mars square Uranus, I'm gonna be honest, I think he's kind of fruity. I mean, it could just produce a person who's really like a freak and has some very freaky hangups. You're so intelligent. How long have you been studying astrology? Thank you, Monet. I've been studying astrology since I would say maybe 2016, so about 4 years now. And it's very interesting how I got into it because I was like most people, I was kind of like a casual observer of astrology up until a certain point. And then one day, y'all, I kid you not, I was like at work. I worked Allstate at the time. And I remember I used to like get on the computer and just look up little, just random shit about astrology. One day I went to a psychic for whatever reason, and the lady told me she said, you're spiritually gifted, and she said you're gonna come upon an opportunity to kind of tap into that, and if you don't, you'll lose it forever. And I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, Shorty is tweaking. And then when I left, I don't know, it just kind of like everything just kind of worked itself out. And next thing you know, here I go. Um, yeah. I don't know everything, Brendan. I don't even want to make it seem like I know everything. I just know what I know. And that's my thing. Cause I know there's a lot of astrologers, like, mostly on Twitter. Like when I hop on Twitter and shit and I see all of these like self-proclaimed astrologers, everybody thinks they're so smart. Everybody thinks they know everything. And I don't want to kick it like that. And you up what you do. Thank you. What about Aquarius moons? Aquarius moons tend to be very eccentric, very eclectic, very, like I said, offbeat type of personalities that can be downright weird. These are people who kind of like they just do them. They can also even be socially awkward. I've seen some very socially awkward Aquarius moons. Socially awkward. I did all of the signs for Mars, Jabias. I did Gemini moons too. I did everybody. No, thank you, problem phase. You're cool. I tend to attract Sagittarius. And you know what, Sierra? I typically do not like Capricorns. I'm gonna be honest with you. You probably have some other placements that make you. I'm pretty sure you're an excellent human being. But just being honest, I don't do. I typically in the past have not done well with Capricorns. I typically don't do well with other Sagittarius women for the most part. There are very few. Favorite in the chart, Mars and what sign? My favorite is I would say Virgo. Virgo Mars individuals. I just like Virgos just as an archetype. I love Virgos because Virgo is the sign of service. And like I was saying earlier, these people are very big on pleasing their partners, right? These are the people who will make sure you're satisfied before they're even satisfied. And Virgo governs the hands. So, like in a man, oh my goodness, hands like magic. Oh, touch me, daddy. Touch me, baby. You know what I want and what I need, baby. My favorite Jupiter sign. Well, Jupiter is a generational planet. Like when you get into like the bigger, slower moving planets, where it's like, yeah, we can talk about how they play out from a sign perspective, but it's more important what house your Jupiter is placed in and how it's being aspected. Because if you're born within a certain time period, everybody gonna have the same Jupiter sign for the most part. Like once you get to like Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, so on and so forth. So I guess I'm a favorite Jupiter. I can tell you what's not the Tito, and that's Virgo, because that's what I got. And it just makes you a nervous train wreck, anxious mess. That's and I'll tell you that. I'm a Scorpio Mars. Do you like intense relationships? Do you like makeup sex, breakup sex, I hate you sex type stuff? Because I've noticed that a lot with Scorpio Mars individuals. That toxic sex hits a little differently. That's Scorpio Mars. I feel like Virgo men like to be in relationships. I feel like Virgo men like to feel needed. They like to feel needed. You gotta make them feel like you need them, or like because once again it goes back to that help thing, that service thing. Like all Virgos want to feel like they're helpful, or they'll feel like they're useless. So that's why they offer unsolicited advice. That's why they're so nitpicky. I mean, it's in their nature, but they want to feel like they're genuinely like helping you out. And you gotta sometimes you gotta give in. Like when I'm dealing with a Virgo man, like sometimes I let the shorty have it. Like, okay, 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 Zaddy, you know what's best, right? You know what you're doing. But I haven't had one of those in 3 years. Venus. Ooh. I also because Venus deals with, or Venus in Scorpio anyway, can produce like lots of issues with the vagina. I've noticed a lot of women who either have their Venus or Mars in Scorpio tend to have like what do you call it? Issues with either like bacteria vaginosis or like bacterial infections, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm a Virgo moon too, Lady Hacker. So trust me, I understand the struggle. Beyonce's Beyonce, y'all not gonna like me, but fuck Beyonce. And that's how I feel about that. Fuck, I said it. Fuck Beyonce. Yes, I listened to Jada Natal chart. Lil- Black Moon Lilith is the part of your personality that you tend to suppress. So it's more so like your shadow, or like parts of your personality that are easily integrated. So it's almost like a lot of people tend to either like project it or like hide it. And it does tend to have like a sexual kind of undertone to it. So Black Moon Lilith and Libra can create a person who, like, I've seen, for just my personal, it can make a person who's like a follower. You're over her too. You're over Beyonce. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Somebody gotta say it. And I ain't scared of no bees. Okay, the wasp queen. I don't give a motherfuck. I don't fuck with Beyonce. Like, and I actually, don't get me wrong, I liked some of her earlier work. Like Dangerously in Love, that was the best project she's ever put out to me. I will play it now. But over time, I feel it's Beyonce's fans that make me hate her as much as I do, because it's like it's not even that deep. I don't understand why, because you can't just have a genuine appreciation and admiration for somebody and their talents without making them like the queen or king of everything. That bitch is my god. Y'all need to relax. Relax. Seriously. And she can't act, and she ruined the Lion King. Yeah, how about that? I said that. She ruined the fucking Lion King. Talk about some lions. Who's with me? I'm like, bitch, what? Why? Why did you do this? She ruined the fucking movie with her non-acting ass. When was the last time you saw Beyonce in a movie and thought like, oh my god, this is Oscar worthy? Never. I like Beyonce, but she needs to sit down somewhere. Yes, sit down and stay down. I think Beyonce's wifey material, and Riri, she will break your heart. I'm more of a Rihanna kind of girl. I'm not gonna lie, Rihanna is more of my speed. She does get cheated on by Jay-Z. I mean, well, I was gonna say allegedly, but I mean, even they kind of came out and said that. But maybe one day I'll do a Sinistry chart on them. Ugh. You liked her in Dreamgirls, Shayna? I thought she was the least like memorable part of that movie. Jennifer Hudson kind of came and stole that show. Beyonce thought she was going to have a moment when she was doing Dreamgirls, but the way it's set up, mm, that wasn't really your time to shine. Yes, I just feel like Rihanna, I think Rihanna is what Beyonce wants to be. Like, Rihanna has mastered the art of being, even if this is not her true authentic self, even though I kind of feel like it is, of being very kind of like I said, what you see is what you get. She is an Aries rising, so she has that element to her of like being this like raw, edgy, unpolished, like badass, whatever. Like that's her brand. Beyonce started, being all cookie cutter and clean. And I guess as time went on and she felt like creatively she had the room to kind of be like this hood girl or whatever. That's kind of what I don't know. I'm just not buying it. Like, okay. Like she went from like dangerously in beloved, what dangerously in beloved, a dangerously in love Beyonce to like surfboard, surfboard. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, whatever. Her work ethic, yes, yeah, she does. I will not sit up here and play those games, especially her being a Virgo. She embodies a lot of that Virgo energy. Definitely a perfectionist. Definitely has a strong work ethic, and she's a great entertainer overall. But don't be coming for Beyonce. Look, I came for her because I don't like Rihanna either. Just Beyonce. I feel like Rihanna is acting. I mean, listen, she could Cosmic Oracle because she's a Pisces. Pisces can be kind of you know fake. I think Beyonce's moon sign is no. She's actually a Scorpio moon. Beyonce does. She's a witch, and y'all heard it here. All of that Scorpio energy. She's a witch. And I feel like it comes from her mother's side of the family. Like they do witchcraft. Like I'm like 95% sure. Cause that's the only reason why you can have that cult like following y'all. I think she does like magic and rituals and shit. But that's another manifestation of that Scorpio moon. Like literally a cult following. Yeah, and her being from Louisiana, I'm telling you. And when that lady came out and was like, "Yeah, Beyonce, she's raping me. She does, she put a spell on me, and she raped me energetically." And everybody was laughing, and I was like, "Nah, I believe you, bruh." Now I don't know why she went to the court because I don't know what the courts are gonna do about black magic. I should have been going to like a voodoo priestess or something. Yes, a lot of people in the music industry in Hollywood, period, do rituals. Absolutely. Period. And she does work hard as hell. I will never take that from her. Never. I just think she's not great at everything. And her father is making it seem like because she got the entertainment thing down pat, like she's a great singer. She's a great actress. She's a great this. I'm like, no, she's a great singer. To be honest, y'all, she's just an all right dancer. Just I like even her dance game. It looks very 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. She's just a perfectionist, so like she doesn't miss a move. But it don't look fluid like a Sierra or something or Aaliyah. She looked like she rehearsed the dance, and she's a trash ass actress. And I think she's slow. I think she's stupid. Like I think she has a great team who can execute and put together all of these abstract concepts. But like as far as like her intellectual level, just on a day-to-day basis, like have a conversation with Beyonce, she gives me like slow vibes. She gives me like short bus kind of tea. She had a perfume. Why does she keep trying to do clothes? Like she got the Ivy Park or whatever it's called. I'm like, girl, didn't we go through this with House of Darion, girl? How did we do this with House of Darion and none of the girls were here for a girl? Like, we don't want your outfits. Beyonce is not a fashion mogul. That's another example of people doing the most, like trying to make her this larger than life entity. Yes, you're an excellent performer and a great singer, but you are not the girl for fashion. She is not the fashion girl. So why the fuck do we want to dress like you again? What the fuck is like a fucking Ivy Park bitch? No thanks. No ma'am. Her perfume stank. She talks through her teeth too while smiling. I love Beyonce as a singer and performer, and I love Rihanna as a businesswoman. I love her. I mean, I listen. Rihanna might be acting. A part of me kind of feels like with her being that Aries rising, that she is kind of like the quote unquote bad girl Reed, you know. But I mean, ever since she got her head knocked between the cup holder that one time by Chris, ever since then, she was able to craft like this bad girl image, and it's worked for her. It's worked for her. It worked. I don't like her at all. I can't. I can't. I can't. Rihanna's acting. You think she's acting? Like I said, she's a Pisces. Pisces can be. I mean, Pisces is the sign of the actress. Quite honestly, I don't know what Cardi B does, but whatever. Show that bald head of mine. Maybe I will. What your head look like, Kaylee? A lot of these celebs be fried. They get paid to put on. I mean, to a certain degree, that is a part of the entertainment industry. People have to have gimmicks. Rihanna, she's bald. What? I can't lie. I feel like Cardi B slept her way to the top. I feel like Cardi B is a great because I used to like her back when she was Snaggletooth. Um, I liked her then. I liked her like when she was very organic, right? Back when she was, what kind of wine am I sipping on? What is this? Cabernet. Like I liked her back, that Cardi B that is back when she had like this organic type of, like back when she was a funny girl on Twitter and Instagram, and she was making all the videos, and she was the stripper hoe and da 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 da. But then the minute that bitch started rapping, I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm ahead out because it's just it's almost like the rap game was handed to her on a silver platter. And I just sat up here, and I'm one of those people. Like I'm a hardcore lyricist. Like I'm a hip hop head, so I am one of those people who feel like you have to meet a certain criteria in order to kind of navigate certain spaces within the industry. So to see her go from like what's popping to like, oh, so now she like the rapper of the year, y'all. Like it kind of did something to me internally, and I wasn't with it. I wasn't with it. About solar returns, yes, I can. Can't hate Cardi, but she is obnoxious. She reminds me of the cousin you can't control, so you just love her from afar. Yeah, the fact that the mainstream media hugged her with open arms is like, and I'm also that girl who's gonna say that it's based in a lot of colorism. It's based in colorism, it's based in racism because she's not black. I mean she might be black adjacent, but like those same type of ratchet girl behaviors when black women do them, it's a problem. Like K Michelle is ghetto as fuck, and her career took a hit from for her doing exactly that. She kind of reminded me of K Michelle in a way. Because K Michelle embodied a lot of those qualities. Like she was ghetto. She was talented. So that might have been a difference between her and Cardi B. She was actually talented, but she, outside of like her career, like she did it was a lot of other shit that came with her and it made a lot of people not want to deal with her. So when it comes to Cardi B, it's just kind of interesting to see people kind of like accept those qualities in her, but then like black women, we're hood rats and we need to shut the fuck up and we need to like we're roaches. That's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. Cardi and Offset, I don't know if they're soulmates, but I do know that no, well, I guess you don't have to be an astrologer to know that Offset has an issue with monogamy. I do feel like Cardi B, especially with her being a Libra sun, is she's a lot more vulnerable than a lot of people think she is. And she's definitely one of those people who tends to identify and attach herself to these relationships, like a lot of dark sided Libra women do, to the point where they make all of these trade-offs and accommodations in relationships with men. And more often than not, they get the short end of the stick. And now look at you with a nigga who cheat on your ass. She'll be the type of person that cuss you out instead of him. She's the best female rapper in the game. Kaylee, I'm gonna need you to log out for me, sweetie, because you are just talking nonsense. I need you to go ahead and log out for me, sweetie. Aries moon women are just individuals in general are off the chain. They are. And it's Aries moon people are actually a lot more unpredictable and over the top than Aries suns. You gotta think about your moon is literally your emotional responses to things. So these people can be very like erratic, very impulsive, very combative, very confrontational. Yeah, you got to be trolling. It's okay. But, yeah. So yeah, that's Miss Cardi B in a nutshell. Is there anybody's chart y'all want me to kind of go over? A celebrity, Aries moon or a Leo moon in a fight? I would look at their Mars sign to kind of get a better understanding of that. But I will say, even though the like the Aries or the Aries Mars person might be the first one to swing or might be the first one to talk shit, I do feel like the Leo Mars person will beat their ass. That's just me. Like the Aries person is like that Aries Mars archetype is like, yeah, what, a bitch talking shit, what, yeah, what's up, bitch? You wanna meet? Oh, let's meet, let's hit. And then they both meet up, right? And then the Aries Mars person might swing first, but then that's where the Leo Mars individual just comes in and goes brazy, and then the Aries will get their ass beat, but they're not gonna stop talking shit. You just whoop my ass. That's all. As mean as hell, they are worse than Aries suns. Legal issues, do they show up in Meg Thee Stallion's chart? You mean with her record label? Let me pull up her chart. Meg Thee Stallion. You know, Meg got one more album. I'll wait on one more album before I decide whether I want to abandon shit or not. I'll give you the beats for free. Who? Who are you? Like an Aries or something, Kaylee? I'm a little confused. Jacquees is an Aries. That's why everybody making fun of him like he gonna stop. I'm like, he's an Aries. He's gonna make even more songs. Did I pick somebody this month for a reading? No, not yet. I'm gonna do like a couple of them. Like I'll do a few of them at a time, Monet. Like about 3. You tired of making it tough? So let's see. I'm looking at Meg Thee Stallion's chart. She is an Aquarius sun with her sun at the 26th degree. She is a Leo moon. She acts like a Leo moon at that because she's very like Leo moon women can be exhibitionists and they can be very much like let it all hang out, right? Which is why she always got some shorts on, twerking. That's that. I mean, that could even deal with her being an Aquarius as well. Though. Aquarius women can be very like free. Like I'm gonna be naked. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna twerk in my shorts, and you better not say shit. I like making, but she's talking. Her twerking doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that redundant flow. I don't like that redundant ass flow. B, listen to me. She. But I'm like, all right. Like I need something more. I need something more, man. That flow. I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't like it. I don't like it. But what am I? Oh, okay. So her Venus is at the 7th degree of Capricorn. That deals with her, and I mentioned this in an earlier reading. I feel like she's definitely an opportunist in a lot of ways. Um, you know how she kind of, and a part of that is her being an Aquarius, where she kind of has this like, oh, I'm friendly with everybody, right? Where she's the girl, like the go-to girl in the industry who's gonna like be mixy and hang out with everybody. A part of that is her being an Aquarius, but the other portion or the other part of that energy is her being a Venus, a Capricorn Venus. These people are apt to make connections with people that can make them look good or put themselves in situations or even relationships that can make them look good. So, like I said, they can be a bit of an opportunist in that respect. Let me see how her Venus is aspected. Sextile in her north. No, I mean, so she is going to make um, some very successful business deals that can definitely put her on a good path from a monetary standpoint. Venus sextile Saturn and Pisces. So that's her rapping career, her rap career in the music industry. She might even get into acting too, I feel like. Eventually as time goes on. Trying to see if I can see anything that can speak to her record label situation. I mean, her Jupiter, which is at the 12th degree of Sagittarius, is squaring her Saturn at the 12th degree of Pisces. That can deal with a person being in bondage or having their freedom restricted in some way, right? And with that Saturn influence, Saturn could deal with your career, your work life. So, I mean, that could point to that contract right there. Jupiter square Saturn with her Saturn at the 12th degree of Pisces. And I mean, that number 12 too deals with victimization and sacrifice. So I mean, that could literally deal with where she has her freedom taken away from her. So I could see how that maybe could play out. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Sun, Quincunx, Chiron. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. She had her own mini series. What? Well, I'm telling y'all, y'all might see her acting again. Honestly, what do you think of Leo Virgo energy in the natal chart? It depends on what planet is placed in. What miniseries she got? Oh, on YouTube. Hmm. Fascinating. Is there any other celebrity y'all want me to take a look at? Doja, Issa Rae. Okay. Let me start with Doja Cat though. Doja Cat is a Libra, y'all. She was born on October 21st, 1995. Oh my God, these folks be making me feel so fucking old. What the fuck? I thought she was older than that. Her son's at the 27th degree of Libra. She's a Virgo moon as well. Actually, her Venus at the 14th degree of Scorpio. Mars at the 0 degree of Sagittarius. Uh-huh. I'm gonna do a series, or I'm gonna make like a regular recorded video on like rappers in astrology, like the zodiac sign is each rapper. But I do find in rappers, like when I'm looking at like a rapper's birth chart, that Virgo energy can make for a really good rapper. Virgo and Gemini. Well, I will say Virgo makes for an excellent like either lyricist or somebody who could be like a really good battle rapper. Well, her Venus, I mean, and she's a Sagittarius Mars, y'all. She might be a freak. Her Mars is conjunct to her Pluto. Her Pluto's at the 29th degree of Scorpio. I do feel like in her relationship, she has a lot of issues with like men, the type of men that she chooses. Like she chooses men who are not capable of being faithful to her. Or she might be the cheater in the relationship. It could go both ways, for sure. Both ways. And that Mars and Sagittarius could even deal with her dating men outside of her race too. She got Sun square Neptune. These are people who I feel like I'm not gonna call them liars, but Sun square Neptune could also produce a personality that is like, I don't know. I feel like these people be hiding shit. They be having shit to hide. But in a woman's chart, this further reinforces my initial suspicions about her attracting men who aren't shit. Because Sun Square Neptune, you can attract men who are like liars, thieves, jailbirds, so on and so forth. She might have daddy issues. Yeah, her Sun Square, her Uranus. That's actually that Sun Square Uranus is what makes her so fucking like what's the word, like, because she does have like this presence of her being like so unique and so like like she's very much like she seems like the type of person who is very comfortable being herself, which isn't typically what most Libra sons like how they operate. Most Libras like be relatable and they care about what people think about them so much. But with her sun square in that Uranus, that kind of what gives her like that little demeanor, that vibe she has. Why she's so fucking like out there, but it's kind of cute and like she kind of is just yeah, kooky vibes. She do look like a lie. How somebody look like a liker? You look like a lie. We talking about Doja Cat. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. I'm not a cat. I don't go meow. And that is so smooth. I'm not in the mood. I really don't know that many songs by her. I like her, but she seems like a couple of her screws are loose. Like I said, that Sun Square Uranus could be responsible for that. Um, Y'all, her Jupiter is squaring her Saturn as well. She has her Saturn at the 18th degree of Pisces. I would not be surprised if she was caught in a contract very similar to Meg the Stallions, or if she was in a situation where her freedom was being taken away, or she was being restricted in some type of way. I wonder if she's been to jail before. Bitch, I'm too smooth. I'm not in the mood. Yeah, so that's pretty much on Doja. It was somebody else. Does her chart explain why she looks like a cat? Um, yeah, nah, I don't know why she like a cat. Maybe her ascendant would provide more insight on her physical appearance, but I don't know what time she was born. Adike, Joyner Lucas. I haven't heard of I mean, I've heard of him, but I don't like what is he saying? I'm gonna do Issa Rae, then Erica Badu. I don't like Issa Rae either, y'all, but I'll do this one just for you, Cosmic Oracle. I don't care for Issa Rae. She not funny to me. And she's not really I'm not even gonna go there. I just don't think she's funny. But I will look her up just for you. January 12th, 1985. What, they got her birth time? Okay, wait. Let's see. Bitchin' Too Smooth. Where was she born? Issa Rae was born in Inglewood. January 12th, Inglewood. Oh, so she's a Capricorn. 1985. I told you I don't like Capricorns like that. Not all of them, not all, but like most. 12/24. 12/24. Was it AM or PM? Yeah, Issa Rae is not funny. I never understood her appeal either, Devin. But nonetheless, she's a Capricorn sun with her sun at the 22nd degree. She's a Libra moon, 7th degree Libra moon, and she's actually a Taurus ascendant. Okay, let's see. She's a Scorpio South Node. I knew it. I knew it. Them bitches be sneaky. Her Saturn's conjunct her Scorpio South Node. Let's see what house is this? In the 7th house. She probably do bad business, y'all. And this is me taking my personal feelings out of it. Just objectively speaking, that's not a good situation to have. Saturn conjunct Scorpio South Node in the 7th house. That can make you a shady ass person when it comes to business, right? The seventh house is the house of business and even friendships. This can just create a person just overall who's very sneaky. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. And with this South Node seventh house of Scorpio T, she gives me the vibe that like this could be a person who is like overly focused on other people and what they're doing. Like somebody who could be jealous of other people, or maybe even somebody who can even treat other people like shit or overly concerned with what the outside world is doing because deep down inside you don't feel that good about yourself or you got low self-esteem. Because with her, that North Node in Taurus, like in the first house, she needs to spend a lot of time developing her own personality, like her own self esteem, enriching herself, fulfilling herself. And she got Chiron in the first house. Hell yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying to take my feelings out of it so I can give an objective reading, but I don't like what I'm seeing. Sun conjunct Jupiter. Now I will say that Sun conjunct Jupiter, her Sun at the 22nd degree of Capricorn, conjoined to her Jupiter at the 24th degree of Capricorn. She's a money making machine. I'll tell you that, especially in her ninth house. So like her be like being able to create like this brand for herself, right? Well, that's true. Good point. Her show was called Insecure. Well, yeah. I love you too, princess. Gotta take astrology with a grain of salt. I mean, I would trust it more than I would trust most things. You might have to take astrologer with a grain of salt because we're all human, but astrology is pretty solid. Tiffany Haddish, stereotype black woman. I don't like Tiffany Haddish either. It's like she's portraying the same person over and over again in movies. And like she just has a very one-dimensional kind of sense of humor. Why Tiffany Haddish can't find a man? Mm. Yeah, man. I don't trust Issa Rae. Her Saturn is forming an opposition to her Chiron and Gemini in that first house, bro. That's somebody who has ulterior motives all day long. Like they portray themselves to be one way, but then they really something else. Like you, bro. Uh, uh like, come on now. I'm telling you. Let me see. And her Mercury is conjoined to her Neptune. I don't like that. I don't like that because that can make a liar. But once again, her Sun sextile and Saturn. Yeah, that's good for as a businesswoman. She's an excellent businesswoman. I will give her that. Sun sextile Saturn, like she has a lot of good shit going on. She could also have a fucked up relationship with her father too. That could also be another manifestation of this. I feel like sis was like sexually abused too, and that could have like a really bad impact on her her sense of self. Like it could leave her feeling uncomfortable with her body and shit. How much does astrology influence a person's life? A lot. But the thing with astrology is that, like, I believe in free will. Like, free will is a thing, right? But based on, your date and time of birth, the stars were placed in a certain position in the sky, and they all form certain relationships with one another that can and often do influence your behavior and your psyche. And of course, in modern day, you have to take into account other things like how, you were raised and other outside factors. But like, it's kind of why, like, how, like, you'll have two people who were born on the same day. They could be born like in the same place and time, or like twins, like identical twins, right? Having like 1 or 2 minutes of time apart, but they could be completely different people. Like complete, or they seem like to be completely different people, because you have certain predispositions and certain ways that you're naturally hardwired, but we all still possess the free will to respond to them in a certain way. Do you read your relationship partner's chart before? I sure the hell do. Now I feel like maybe I shouldn't, because I tend to do this with everybody. Like all the guys, like whenever I'm like dealing with a guy or I call myself liking a guy, I do have the tendency to look at his birth chart. And so I try to take that with a grain of salt, in the sense of, once again, I'm reading the snapshot, but how he chooses to handle it could be different. And I would even say the same thing goes, I was just reading Issa Rae's chart. I could say the same thing about her or whoever, but you know, maybe I should do that. Maybe I shouldn't do that when I'm dating. Shows energy you have access to. The energy is neutral, but it's up to you to make good of it. Exactly. That's why there's no such thing as good or bad chart. You like, oh my chart, all this stuff. Like, there are people who have the most squares in the world. I could look at somebody's chart full of fucking squares and in aspects that, stereotypically speaking, people would be like, oh, it's a bad chart. But these could be some of the most successful people you've ever met, because squares create tension. And for some people, tension is an incentive to do better, right? To overcome. So for that reason, a lot of people who have a surplus of squares in their chart can be very motivated and highly successful people. Just like you have some people who have a lot of trines in their chart can be lazy people, and so on and so forth. Yeah, you can manipulate the energy. What is Moon Square Pluto? I have it. So there's XXS and NBA Youngboy. It basically, Moon Square Pluto, I find, is a very challenging aspect, because it creates a level of like dysfunction that usually started either within the home. A lot of these people can have very fucked up relationships with their moms. And NBA Youngboy, XXX, it can put a person down a path of like, there's almost like an innate kind of tendency to be like self-destructive. And in life, they're constantly trying to overcome that. Like, it could create like a person even who like feels like their mother wishes they were never born or something. Squares in the chart are a superpower, cosmic oracle. Uranus conjoined your Aquarius ascendant. It kind of further reinforces or exacerbates that Aquarian energy, which can make you, like I said, rebellious, weird, awkward, somebody who naturally marches to the beat of their own drum, somebody who's very individualistic. Um, you might have a very dry sense of humor, sarcastic. Aquarius, people with heavy Aquarius and Capricorn influences in their chart tend to be excellent. Like those people who are really good at like dry wit, sarcasm, like but still witty at the same time. Like just like I like that. Yeah, NBA young boy is he's something else. He's something else. I feel so bad for him, y'all. I do. God bless him. Hey, madam. Madam. Yeah, he's something else for sure. And y'all are social justice warriors, Marilyn. Typically, it with T squares, you have to look at the like opposing. So you have the apex planet, right? Like, because the T square, a lot of astrologers basically correlate it to like a chair with only three legs. There's like a imbalance of energy. So whatever planet is at the apex point, you need to look at the opposite of that. Like typically you can find the energy to help balance out the equation by looking at the planet that's or excuse me, looking at the placement or the house that's directly across from the apex planet. I'll do a video on it one day. It's a lot. I owe y'all a lot of videos actually. So feel free to just email me and remind me, astroworld, WERLD at gmail.com. Like, remember to do this video because I'll be the type to say that and then I forget. Saturn, opposition to the ascendant. Like I said, it can create physically, I noticed that it can create short people. It can also produce issues with the skin, like you may experience like issues with acne. Um, there could also be a tendency to succumb to depression. These people can be kind of pessimistic. Um, they can also be very suspicious of people too. Very suspicious of people. These are people who are typically very hard on themselves. They push themselves very, very hard. Yes, ma'am. I like fighting for what's right, but people can irk me at times. That's another manifestation of that Aquarian energy. Aquarius is people always, group Aquarius is like this I don't know, like into this sign where it's like, oh, they're so soft and fluffy and they love people. They're the water bearer. Like, don't get me wrong, Aquarius does like to fight for what's right, as you put it, Marilyn. But Aquarius rather, and Aquarians are very individualistic signs. So these are people who are like, I love people, but I hate people. If you catch my drift, like I'll fight for the justice of the collective because I just feel like I don't believe certain people having access to this and other people not. But like on an individual level, you can get the fuck out of my face. These are people who can be very abstract thinkers or like, but on a one-on-one level, they're not really that. Same thing goes for Saturn Aquarius individuals as well. Could be an exceptionally because my Saturn is in Aquarius and I've always had a very difficult time in the workplace because I'm not naturally somebody who respects authority. With that Saturn and a lot of the Saturn Aquarius generation, we are those people we get to work and we like, listen, Sarah, like I don't give a fuck if you my boss. Like I'm not gonna treat you a certain way because you the boss and this other person a different type of way. Like, no, bitch, you want respect, you give me respect, I'm gonna give you respect. If not, we just finna be two disrespectful ass motherfuckers. Cause I'm gonna do to you what you do to me. How about that? How about that? How you like those apples? That's Saturn and Aquarius. And it can be very difficult for Saturn Aquarius individuals to keep jobs too. I know me personally, I'll walk out a job like it's nothing. You heard me? I'll get up and I'll walk clean the fuck out. See some shit I don't like? Nah, I'm straight. You gotta respect me, right? IESPE, respect me. IES, period. Period, Pooh. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I can have 10 bills due on the first of the month and walk my ass out of your job. Like, oh God, if I don't like the way you said something to me, if I don't like what you did, like if I feel like, you know what I'm saying, if it's too much, I'm gonna be like, all right, take care, God. I know you got something better in store because I'm finna head out. I'm Aquarius. I relate to Dame Dash. You relate to Dame Dash and JC. Aquarius Mars individuals can get ahead off of their associations. Stop it. I'm just saying. Saturn and Aries can have issues with authority too. But I noticed they have issues with maintaining like harmonious relationships and stuff. Saturn in Aries, like especially in a woman's chart, they can be some problematic queens. And depending on how it's aspected, this could be like daddy issues. More often than not, it's daddy issues, but like they can be very combative people and very hard headed too. Sag midheaven, I don't play that. Period. Period. Period, Pooh. Saturn and Taurus can bring about a lot of karmic situations involving your possessions, money. It could also bring about a lot of tower moments involving like your need or desire to play it safe a lot of times. Saturn Pisces, La La Land. Yeah, y'all. Saturn and Pisces has a karmic need to learn what's real and what's not. Saturn Aries in the seventh house, girl. I know your relationships be something else. That could even deal with you attracting relationships to where like maybe you even attract men who are like very selfish. And Monet, do you have issues with like do you have a lot of workplace drama? Saturn and Taurus in the sixth house can also produce workplace drama as well. It could also actually manifest in a person who like sticks to a career or a job because it's like maybe you don't know nothing else or you don't feel comfortable going nowhere else. Like I said, that thing of like playing it safe, but now you stuck in a place that you hate or a career that you hate. Now you just looking crazy. Definitely, that's why men are no go for me. What you mean men are a no go? Are you bi or something? Or like are you just talking shit? Like or are you gay? Is it everywhere I had a job that was a problem? Yeah. That placement can create lots of workplace hostility. Ah, working for you. But that's another manifestation of Saturn in Aries, especially in the seventh house. You could be like an excellent entrepreneur. Shit. Do that. Saturn in Aries in the 12th house. Did you have like a father who wasn't present in your life or something, Chandria Brown? Like either physically or emotionally? It could be a lot of subconscious fears too. That's another placement that tends to breed that. A lot of subconscious fears, lots of paranoia, lots of karmic baggage from past lives. Ooh, Saturn at the 29th degree. Jesus. That's issues with authority figures. Big time. You're adopted? Hmm. Fascinating. I'm wondering if that could even deal with, like, if that could even play into that. Usually that adoption energy, and I guess I would just have to look at your chart in its totality. Whenever I see people who are adopted, they usually have like a surplus of like Sagittarius or like Jupiter energy or the Aries of the second degree. People never guess I'm an Aries, but I think it describes my dad because he's an Aries. 16 kids. Whew, Jesus. Capricorn rising with Scorpio 10th house. I think you could be. Like I said, I would certain things I have to look at like the fullness of your birth chart, but you could be definitely. I feel like that placement could create a person who is like whatever it is that they do, they have to be very like what's the word? Like if you're gonna do it, you have to do it right. Whatever it is you decide to do. You're adopted with a grand trine in Jupiter, grand trine Jupiter, Sun, Pluto. A course class for aspects or teaching charts because I would love to. I think I will one day. I think I will do like a basic astrology course one day. Your dad treats you like you're in the military. Yeah, that's that 29. Does he have anger issues too? Because that number 29 could bring anger issues. And it could create situations to where like it can lead to like low self-esteem, especially attached to your Saturn. It's like maybe your dad is like very critical of you, and now you like criticize yourself because you've internalized that. Saturn in the first house, Saturn and Jupiter in the first house. What sign? Black girl so fly. Jupiter trine Chiron can actually make you a really good healer. Because you gotta think about that. The Chiron is your wounds. So I mean, it could be psychological wounds, physical wounds, but given that you master whatever part of your subconscious is impacted by that Chiron energy, that could create a person who can eventually go on to help others, teach others. What sign is your Venus in Chiron in? Saturn in Taurus, Jupiter in Pisces. So I mean, this could create a bit of a. I feel like the Saturn energy will win out though, because it's the heavier planet. You could have a lot more discernment than your stereotypical person with the Jupiter and Pisces in the first house. I think you could have issues trying to figure out like trusting your intuition and whatnot. But overall, you might be the type of person because you don't trust yourself a lot, you might, like I said, the play it safe thing with Saturn and Taurus. Somebody who's very kind of like, and it could even reflect in like even your physical appearance and the things you choose to wear and how you choose to carry yourself and maybe even your job, right? With the Jupiter and Pisces, you might dream big, you might have big hopes, you might have other things that you want to do with your life, but maybe especially for financial reasons, maybe you're like, maybe I should do this, maybe I should stick to that, maybe I should blah 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 blah. 22nd degree. Well, the number 22 breaks down to four, and four deals with intuition, and it also deals with like blessings, like unexpected blessings. It could also even deal with entitlement. So depending on what planet it's attached to, like that can get in what sign, that can give me a little bit more, like some more clues. Is Mercury in Capricorn a good placement? There are no good and bad placements. Every placement has their advantages and disadvantages. An advantage of being a Mercury Capricorn individual could be, these people are realists. They don't see the world for how things should be. They see things for the way that they are. They're very cut and dry people. You know, like I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit with you. Um, they could also kind of be wise beyond their years at times. But I guess a negative manifestation of that placement could be, some people could think that they're haters or maybe that they're deadbeat downers. Oh, yeah, really bad anger issues. Sun in Virgo falls in the 12th house. Let me go back up and see what your original question was. So, at the 22nd degree. So your sun is at the 22nd degree of Virgo in the 12th house. Uh, I would have to look at the rest of your chart for that, Monet. I know that sun in the 12th house can produce a late bloomer, though. Somebody, maybe it takes a little bit longer for you to find your purpose. Or even with that Virgo energy, like in the 12th house, it can create a person who, like, maybe even feels like a screw up. Even though you want to be helpful, I've seen it like manifest in a lot of people who feel like they're fuck ups. They just fuck shit up. Karma in the 12th house, I wouldn't say necessarily a late bloomer, but it can produce a lot, like deeply rooted trauma. Like depending on what sign it's in, what sign is your Chiron in? Mercury in the 12th house as well. Yeah. So would you say that's true, Monet? That's kind of how you feel a lot of times. I also notice, especially with that Mercury energy, in the 12th house too, it can create a person who likes to develop their own. I like these people can be a lot slow. Like these people are people who can, maybe you can text better than you talk, or you can on the internet better than you can in real life. Like in real life, it's almost like your head is somewhere else, or it takes these people a lot longer to form. I don't want to say like their sentences, but like they need a little bit more time to like formulate their thoughts, get everything together. Then they can come at you with the tea and the facts. Leo sun in the 6th house at the 4th degree. Yeah, I feel like you would definitely do good in leadership. Like that could be somebody who probably doesn't even do good in like subservient positions. So like if you're at work, you probably need to be the boss or something close. Okay, so you had a problem with that. Okay. Mercury, Libra, 29th degree. There could be a tendency to put a lot of value on what other people think. There could be also family problems or issues with the siblings. That's Mercury and Libra at the 29th degree can also make a person very insecure as well, as I noticed. My North Node, I'm a Capricorn North Node. So I need lots of discipline and structure. Learning how to live my life alone. Because being a Cancer South Node, I do have a very codependent relationship with my family, and friends, and I can become very attached. So in this lifetime, I have to learn how to even my emotions, y'all. I get so caught up in my emotions. I can be very emotional and crazy. So I kind of have to learn how to walk on a straight and narrow. Also, Capricorn North knows our karma is like on 1,000. So I can't even do fucked up shit to people. Not like I want to do fucked up shit to people, but I've noticed as I've gotten older, like when I do fucked up shit to people, it comes back on me instantly. So I'm straight on that. Moon conjoined to the South Node, Sun conjoined to the North Node. It could create an effect. I mean, depending on what sign, like it can often manifest in a person feeling like they're being pulled in two different directions. I've also seen that produce personality disorders as well. It could also represent coming from like an early environment, maybe like your parents are separated or they weren't together, or like it is a double-edged sword. Capricorns will be very helpful, and maybe that's why I don't like them. Maybe like subconsciously, maybe like I just have like a very adverse reaction to them because they embody all of the shit that I fucking can't stand. But from an astrological perspective, I need, right? Discipline, structure. Capricorns are very big about like reputation and shit like that. My mom's a Capricorn. We don't really get along that much. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my mama, but it's like if she wasn't my mom, we wouldn't be friends. Feel me? Like, and I think that's why she's very much concerned, like, with appearance. And she used to always tell me, "Your reputation is all you have." That's such a Capricorn thing to say. But my Cancer South Node is in my ninth house, so I'm a type of person where I'm gonna let it all hang out. I'm like, oh, I'm wild, I'm free, like, la, 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 la. I don't really know how to. Some I'm learning. Yeah. It can make you uncomfortable, yeah. So maybe subconsciously, that's why I kinda like I shy away from a lot of Capricorns. I just be like, "Eh, accountable." Yeah, I try to be accountable. I try to be. I try to be. I think too, being a Virgo moon kinda 'cause, it grounds me in a lot of ways, and Virgo moons are also very introspective, like, we're in a constant state of introspection. And that's why we're so able to pick up on other people and read other people the way that we do because we do it to ourselves. So I can observe certain things about myself and be kind of, objective about it, but I don't know. I'm a try Cosmic Oracle. I'm trying. I try to in different ways. Like working on being more responsible and stuff like that. I try to. What about North Node Scorpio in the ninth house? So that would mean second, first, or that means you would have your Taurus South Node in the third house. Now, Taurus South Nodes also tend to have issues in regards to their self-esteem as well. These are people who can be overworked, who feel like they have to work to either prove their worth or maybe people who are too loyal to people who don't deserve it. Um, I've also saw these are people too who are not supposed to become too attached to the physical in this lifetime, given that you're a Taurus South Node. Like anytime you attach yourself to like people, places, and things, shit'll happen, and you'll encounter these like power moments that will like rip that shit to shreds completely. A lot of these people can come up close and personal with death in this lifetime. It could even deal with you embracing like the side of your personality that requires you to be like a bad girl. You know, where you're like, I don't know if you like sex or something like that, but these people can be very fascinated by sex. A great example of this is Meg the Stallion. So, for instance, how she is very like promiscuous. Well, I don't know if she's promiscuous, but her image, her brand, right, is like hot girl, sexy, twerk a lot. I'm a rap about sex. Like but she is a Scorpio North Node. So in this lifetime, she kind of has the right to do that. She has the right to do that if she wants to. These are people with that Taurus South Node where it's like you go out of your way to take credit for things. You were probably, especially in your third house, you were probably like that in school, like ideas and concepts. Like you'll go out of your like you'll work twice as hard just so that like when it all comes down to it, you can say like, oh, well, I did that. I did that. Scorpio South Node. Scorpio South Nodes tend to have issues with like attachments, uprooting themselves or detaching themselves from people, places, and things, letting go of control, um, relinquishing the need to even control people. Cancer North nodes need to familiarize themselves with their more feminine side. You need to get in touch with the divine feminine, and learn how to fulfill yourself because that Capricorn South Node can bring about a sense of unfulfillment like in your professional life. So a lot of the times, another good example of this is Beyonce. She's a Capricorn South Node. I always talk about this. And she's a great example because no matter how famous she is, right? She is like the queen of everything. Let y'all Beehive members tell it. But with her being a Capricorn South Node, it's still going to be unfulfilling to her. It's still going to be like, it's a point where she wants something more. Like, and that's why with that Cancer North Node, for her, family means everything. A lot of these people could go on to create families of their own. Like maybe earlier in life, these are the people who are addicted to their career or workaholics, and then later on they decide to have families or maybe get in touch with like issues affecting women. That's that Cancer North Node, getting in touch with your own feminine, divine feminine, or maybe the friendships that you have with other women or relationships with women could kind of take you on that path. Learning how to deal with your emotions, so on and so forth. What's your question, Divine Seven? Scorpio South Node in the 10th house gives me you care very much what people think about you. Like you're the type of person who wants to be either too preoccupied with power and control or somebody who wants yourself to be viewed in a very particular way. It could also be kind of problematic for careers in that 10th house too, because it can create like a dynamic to where you're never fully settled. Like either the things that you want are always changing, or like there's a constant need to like reinvent yourself or your goals. Third house, Chiron, Virgo. Uh-oh. What can you say about third house? Chiron, Virgo. So Chiron in the third house of Virgo, Pisces, Mercury. I feel like you had a difficult time learning, like in school and whatnot. Is that true? Because that quite literally could create a person who like had a very difficult or jaded experience in school, or somebody who just feels chronically misunderstood. Hmm. You need to get more familiar with yourself, Princess Nia. Gemini, North Node, first house. Maybe even your siblings could teach you more about, if you have them, could teach you more about yourself in this lifetime. And you need to become more open minded too, because you might, with that Sagittarius South Node in the seventh house, you could have a tendency to be kind of judgmental towards other people. Jupiter, Uranus, Aquarius in the fifth house. Uh-oh, did I read that right? Um, I find it can bring a certain level of irregularity to the dating life. Um, I don't know if you friend zone people a lot or if you've been friend zoned before, but I noticed it can create that. And you never answered my question from the first time on that, because I asked if you were, because you said that's why you can't do men, and then I asked if you were gay. But that placement can create a person who is either like homosexual or like bi-curious or like LGBTQ plus adjacent. I've also seen this placement produce surprise pregnancies, like unexpected pregnancies, so on and so forth. Mercury and Pisces in the fifth house is also, that's a very creative placement too. Um, I mean, these are people who like are excellent artists. I've seen people who can draw or who like photography or something like that. They're these people can be very self-sacrificing too, as it pertains to their relationships with other people. I'm about to get something else to drink, so give me just a second, y'all. You're bisexual, but you're not dating. Oh, you answered? I didn't even see it. My bad. Tattoos. I do. I have one. I got three on my finger, on my hip. Actually, four: my finger, my hip, my back, and my wrist. I want more. I want a sleeve, y'all. I'm gonna get one too. Scorpio number nine. Uh-huh. It probably is. Actually, that for sure is. I say get it. Get it. The Pluto Scorpio generation too. We're really big on tattoos. Hmm. Right. Hold on, y'all. Let me get something to drink. Okay, I'm back. I saw somebody ask, "What do I think about the vertex?" I don't think about the vertex. I really don't think it's important. But with each astrologer, it's different. But some people say that it's connected to like your fate and all that good shit. I don't really give a fuck. Oh, did I mean that? How do I get this to go away? Um, Pluto conjunct Chiron. That can be dysfunctional as fuck. It depends on how or what aspects Pluto and Chiron are making. How would you know if someone was diagnosed with learning disabilities in their chart? You check the condition of their Mercury, or that third house influence, or if that person has like, let's say, Saturn and Gemini. I've seen a lot of people with Saturn and Gemini. Um, let's say it was like forming an opposition to Chiron or something. That could be a learning disorder. Or an afflicted Mercury, like I said, Mercury square Saturn. I've seen that produce a person who's a little slow. Fantasia, Fantasia is she a little challenged. Okay. She's a Sagittarius South Node, which means her North Node would be in Gemini, and I believe it's conjoined or it's conjunct her Chiron. So her Gemini North Node conjunct Chiron, and they say the bitch can't read. So there you go. I didn't mean to put you on blast, Cosmic Oracle. I don't know how I did that, or like how that'll go away, or I don't even know what I just did. Sorry. No Mercury square Saturn. I'm just saying that's just one aspect. But there are a lot of places you can look, or there are a lot of indicators that can point towards somebody having either a learning disability, or like I said, look at the condition of your Mercury, look at the third house, look at if are there any planets or anything in Gemini or something like that. You were diagnosed with attention deficit disorder, Mercury in the third house, Sagittarius. See, and I wonder how your Mercury is aspected. Um, what you mean, Didn't I go to school with you, Carmen? Did I go to school? Because if I did go to school with you, I got a story to tell. I think I went to school with you. Virgo males are, I mean, I did. I don't. Do you remember that time we was in? It was the seventh grade, and what was that like? She was a light skinned lady. What was her name? She was light skinned, and we weren't supposed to have gum. And she was like, Carmen, is that gum you got? You was like, no, it's the mint. No, it's the mint. It's the mint. And then you got in trouble. I don't know why I always associate that. Like that moment sticks out. But Virgo men are I've never known a stupid Virgo. Virgo men are very intellectual, even if they're not formally intelligent, like oh they went to college or whatever. They're very well studied and very they what's the word? What's the word? I guess it all goes back to the thing for like a keen eye for detail, but they can be assholes. Look at Joe Budden. Joe Budden is the quintessential Virgo man. How can you, huh? How can you know if a person is into a cult? We look at uh the most psychic houses in the chart, which is the fourth house, the eighth house, and the 12th house. You can also look to see, if that person has prominent Scorpio energy, because Scorpio deals with the occult. So let's say a person like the Scorpio Pluto generation. Let's say they have their Pluto in, I don't know, fourth house or something. This could absolutely be a person who's very interested in the occult. Pisces energy, if they have any Pisces energy, Pisces Mars individuals. Um, so yeah, those are typically what I look at when I'm looking into a person. Joe Budden he's the only he makes all Virgos look bad. He makes Virgos look bad. I wanna punch him in his fucking mouth. Like I wanna fight Joe Budden. Like he the type of nigga who would say something to me and I would just stick that nigga dead in his shit. You're not. I can't remember your personality as an adult, Carmen, but as a kid, you were funny as hell. I think he's a Taurus. I think he's a Taurus moon. You have a love hate relationship with other Virgos. Your first house, Sun, Venus, Mercury, all conjunct between Aries and Taurus. In the first house, do me a favor, Chandria Brown. Email me at astroworld@gmail.com. Send me your placements, and then I'll add you to my list. Cause I would have to like really sit down and look at your chart. You like Joe Budden, Marilyn? He's funny to me, but seems insecure. So that's another. That could be another manifestation of that Virgo energy, because Virgos can be very, very insecure. A lot of Virgos have an inferiority complex. Actually, a lot of them do. Which I mean makes sense, right? If they're so hypercritical and quick to point out faults and flaws in other people, you would only know how to do that if you've done it to yourself. Virgos won't admit it, but they a lot, and I can just keep that shit like funky. Like I said, I'm a Virgo moon, and I'm gonna keep that shit real. A lot of us have it. It's up to you to decide how you want to handle it, but it was definitely there, like at a certain point. Like I used to be very hard on myself. That's why I can read a bitch down, like, because I can talk about me. So, bitch, I can talk about you. And angry man foot stomping tactics, exactly. And be some low key haters. They can, they can, they can, they can. I need you to help me with my Astro help. What you mean? What's Astro help? What's that? Is that an app or something? Virgo moon. I realize nothing goes unseen. Like exactly. So you feel me? We here. I peep everything. I peep everything. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Huh, okay. Let's try. What I'm doing now, I'm chilling. I'm drinking and chilling with y'all. I started to okay, do y'all want me to do a porn star series where I like just like it'll be a recorded video, but I start doing birth charts for porn stars because I seriously thought about it. I seriously thought about it, y'all. Okay, I'll do it. Y'all want to start with Pinky? Y'all like Pinky? Who y'all favorite porn star? I'll do one now. Pinky used to be my favorite. Then everything I peep, I use against people. Of course. Okay, Pinky. Y'all like think? Yeah, of course I'm a freak. So y'all like big Pinky or y'all like little Pinky? Y'all like Pinky when she like got a little thick? What's y'all favorite Pinky scene? Describe it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take it there. She one of those folks who be, oh, I'm like, damn, bitch. I gotta turn like, down. Thick Pinky. Y'all like thick Pinky? I like Pinky when she was a little petite. I'm not even gonna lie. Cause thick Pinky look unhealthy. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, it gives me like high cholesterol tease. Just because she's so little. You know what I'm saying? It's different if you're a bigger woman and you're taller. She's just so tiny. You like the strap on thing? She be fucking them bitches up with that strap on. I'm like, okay, Pinky. You like thick Pinky too, Carmen? She be tearing them bitches up with that strap. She don't be sparing them. She's super. oh my gosh, she got the same birthday as my daughter. I'm disturbed. Star. Let me see what year she was born. She was born in 1982. So let's see. Let me see. Let me see. I'm pulling up her information now. Mm. Y'all remember when they had that rumor that said that she had AIDS? Uh-oh. See, I think when I click on people's comments, that's when y'all thing pop up on the screen. She's a big toe now. That's not nice. It's funny though. She looks uncomfortable. Because we talking about Shaq Young. Listen, Young Ma is a grown ass man, and that's a little bit too much for me. I have been streaming for a long time and I'm gonna get off after a while. But I've been thinking that a lot of porn stars are stuck in root shot. I can see that a lot of porn stars be having issues like with like I don't know, like either they've been violated. Cause think about it, what went wrong in your life for you to like be able to fuck all of these people just as a profession, like, and just go about your night, like have a group of 5 niggas, 10 niggas pound you out, and then you just like go about your day. What happened? What happened? Even as a man, like where you're just diving into some coochie every day. You skeet on a girl's face and teabag her, and then you just go on about your day. What happened emotionally? What happened to you? I would think they would take birth control because you know a lot, especially the ones who do like the cream pies and stuff. Because if you let somebody cream pie you, like, then if you're not on birth control, that's a problem. That's a problem. And yeah, and they have to get tested regularly. Now, in the age of the corona, I don't know. A lot of them have insatiable desires. Well, let's see, because I just put up Pinky's chart. So Pinky is a Cancer sun. Her son is at the 2nd degree of Cancer. She's a Leo moon, which makes sense. I can kind of see that. Because Leo moon individuals, especially women, tend to be very, what's the word? Like out there. Like I was talking about with Meg Thee Stallion, right? She's a Leo moon, like out there with their sexuality. They can be very bold. They can be straight up nudists. They can be very comfortable walking around naked. They can be very cutting edge, daring type of women, and sexually driven, very sexually driven. Let me see how it's aspected. Yeah, and it's sextile her Leo moon is sextiling her Mars at the 10th degree of Libra. So that quite literally deals with her doing like engaging in sex or being like this like superstar, but like her getting paid for it, or like her working in like the sex business, industry. Because that business influences is that Libra energy there. Her Mercury's in Gemini, so maybe that's why she like maybe that's why she's comfortable going both ways or like fucking with chicks. I don't know. Let me see what else. Her sun is conjunct her Neptune. Y'all, I remember her talking about her daddy being in jail. That's that sun conjunct Neptune. Her Venus is in Taurus at the 28th degree. I feel like Pinky might have an eating disorder, y'all. I think she has an eating disorder. Yes, we really about to do Pinky's chart. I think she has an eating disorder, y'all. Let me see how it's aspect, because that 28th degree could still technically be considered the anoretic degree or crises degree. Let me see. Oh, and it's conjoined to her Chiron at the 25th degree of Taurus. She got an eating disorder. That's why she got big like that. And this could manifest as issues with her money too. So is she broke? I don't know. And it could also manifest in chronic self-esteem problems too. Which I mean, are we surprised about that? I'm not. Not at all. We're talking about Pinky, Lilith. If I watch certain porn star party events, and most of them have this tired look in their eye. It's not supposed to be funny, but it is funny. Like they just looking like, I'm tired, chief. I'm tired. But her Venus is at the 28th degree and it's conjoined to her Chiron. So you see where I say it's very nuanced. So just because your Venus is in Taurus doesn't mean it's gonna play out like hers. But also, this could point towards her being somebody who is all about her money to the point where she's willing to compromise her values and standards because of money, especially with her Venus conjoined Chiron. Like she's willing to do almost anything for money. And I mean, I don't know. Have you seen her? Have you seen some of her videos? I like that Pinky video where she was like, she had on, what was it? I don't know. I don't know if she was sucking dick. I guess they don't really narrow it down, but she had on her, like she had her little pink hair and she was sucking dick in, it looked like the kitchen. But I'm like, okay, well sometimes that's how you gotta get it in. Sucking dick in the kitchen. When they working hard all day. She did fall off, Lilith. She did. I feel bad for her. Like I said, I think she really does have an eating disorder. Oh, and her Venus is opposing her Uranus. So that's her being willing to just be down nasty. That's her being a straight up freak. Being willing to do all kinds of shit. But also with that opposition, I would imagine it would be difficult for her to maintain relationships too. Whoops, daisies. Um, she's another one. She's another good example of that Capricorn South Node. Like maybe even despite her having this kind of career where it's like, okay, well, she's popular and you're at some point, the biggest sex star or the biggest porn star that, is known in the Black community. Like, there's something about that is unfulfilling to her. So with her being a Cancer North Node, it's like, I don't know if she want kids or if it's something to like, she desires a life that's a lot more meaningful than like what she contributes to her profession. I guess is the best way. She used to get the strap. That's that Venus. That's that Venus opposition Uranus. That's her strapping them bitches. Her Mars is conjoined to her Saturn in Libra. So yeah, that's literally her like looking at sex like a business. All right, Carmen. I just got your message. uh, yeah, Pinky. Y'all know who else I used to like? I could look up Jada Fire. I used to like Melrose Fox, y'all. Y'all remember her? That bitch is bad. I mean, depending on how she did her hair. I think she probably is dead inside, Lilith. Especially with her being a Capricorn South Node, she probably be depressed as fuck. Jada Fire. Oh yeah, Jada. I follow her on Instagram. She was trying to holler at Drake, and Drake said she looked like she still be wearing G Unit. I was like, damn, bitch, that's embarrassing. I like the little slim thick Pinky too. I think that's what she was like her best. Dang. You watched her too. I feel like Jada Fire be doing too much. I never really got into her pornos like that though. I don't know. I just never got into her pornos. I couldn't really. I couldn't. You never heard of Melrose Fox? I like Melrose Fox. Now, ooh, Megan Trump. That's the only Trump. Look, that's the only Trump we acknowledge around here. The Megan Trump. I mean, is that her? Yeah, Megan Trump. I think, right? Megan Trump. Is it Megan Trump? Tiana Trump. It's Tiana Trump. Lacey was fine too. Her titties were like hella fake, but I gotta say that's everybody in the porn industry. Tiana Trump. Okay. Tiana Trump. Yeah, yeah. That way. I like Tiana. Old school Janet Jack me, Heather Hunter, take it in the bud. Yeah, yeah, what? Yes, yes. So let me see what who else should I do next? Y'all wanted me to do Jada Fire. I did say I was gonna record this. Whatever. Dang, I done been on here about 3.5 hours. Heather Hunter smashed Tupac. That's not surprising. Tupac was a little hoe. He that's a great example of the like dark side of Gemini male here and everywhere. And he was an Aries moon. I know he was having hella sex. Oh, Jasmine. Did Jasmine Cashmere become a like is she like loving God now? She's an Aries. She was born April 17th, 1984. Hold up. Yeah, that says adult film star Jasmine Cashmere turns life over to Christ. She's a pastor. Let's see if we can see that in her chart. Okay, April 17th, 1984. Hold on. In Crest Hill, Illinois. April 17th, 1984. Come on, give it up for Jesus. I'm just human, Carmen. I'm not even a, I don't know if I would describe myself. I don't know. Maybe I am a freak. I love sex. I love sex. She's a preacher's wife, or is she a preacher? Because this article makes it seem like she's in the pulpit, like herself. I could do Tiana Taylor. Okay, Jasmine Cash. So she's an Aries sun. She's a Scorpio moon, y'all. She's a Scorpio Mars. What did I tell y'all? We love Scorpio Mars. We so freaks. And she's a Sagittarius South Node. That's why she's so religious like that. That's that Jesus. But in this lifetime, she ain't supposed to be like that. She has her Uranus conjunct her Sagittarius South Node. That's why she Jesus out right now. She probably was always religious with that South Node. In this lifetime, a lot of Sagittarius South Node people are supposed to become like more open minded. You know what I mean? Like they're supposed to like kind of not so much rely on religion and like indoctrination to shape their viewpoints and shit. They're supposed to be the type of people who are like willing to get down and dirty and like be open and flexible to different ways of thought, different schools of thought, different people. So I don't know, man. But yeah, that deals with her being super religious. She probably was raised like that though. I feel like she might have been raised like that and then just ended up going back to that. Let me see. Mercury Taurus, her Venus is in Aries too. So she probably was able to have like sex and just keep that shit moving. Her Saturn is in Scorpio, 14th degree of Scorpio, Sun opposition Pluto. I feel like she might have been she fits that criteria of somebody who was probably, especially Moon conjunct Saturn. Oh shit. First of all, I feel like she has mommy issues. Number one. Then number two, I feel like she was molested or touched or something like that early as a child. So, there's that. Her Jupiter's at 12th degree of Capricorn. And she comes from a background that's super religious, especially, I mean, that's reinforced with the Jupiter at the 12th degree of Capricorn, and it's squaring her Venus in Aries. So I feel like she was kind of taught and indoctrinated to like suppress that part of herself, like her sexuality and stuff like that. So maybe she just kind of succumbed to that. Because I feel like she had been getting pressured to be that way. That's unfortunate. I hate that. I don't know what porn star Trey Songz was caught with. Astro Queen chat after dark. Ah, yes. Well, we can talk about fucking and everything else. Porn stars. I really don't know what porn star Trey Songz was caught with. I remember like I was talking about, but I don't know if she was like, and I see what did she do? Ooh, what did she do? Like was she doing this on a dick or something? What was she doing? Do a split on a dick. Hey. Honestly, y'all, I like, and maybe I just need to like work on getting in better shape. But like all that, when I was younger, I used to like doing all that, like tricks on the dick, splits on the dick, spin around, keep it inside. But like now, I ride dick wrong on purpose so he can go back to doing all the work. Cause nigga, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Like you might get good, like two good, bounces from me before my knees start cracking. When you get on top and you do the little froggy thing, you might get like two or three of those out of me, and then it's over with. It's over with. Oh, lazy, yeah. You know, and the crazy thing, Lilith, I haven't always been like this. Well, I need you to continue to behave, Carmen. Get some cardio. I guess I do. I'll admit it. It is what it is, though. Cause I just believe it or not, y'all, I've been abstinent for like 3 years. Maybe that's why I'm so preoccupied with sex. Cause I haven't had it for so long. But eventually, when I get there, just for you, Miss Lilith, I'll make sure I'm all cardioed up so I can get in the ring and just go ham. Remember Delicious from Flavor? Yeah, I remember her. It's easier to hit them in a chair, not the bed. You might be on to something, Rendezvous. You might be on to something. You might be on to something. I might even do a segment talking about like sexual positions. You don't remember me being like this in school? What was I like in school, Carmen? It's always meeting people and getting their interpretation of what I was in school. Mind you, this was middle school because you ended up going to. Did you go to South Carolina? I went to Pepperbrook. I did the chair. Your thighs are burning. See, less work, a little bounce. Within 10 minutes, it's over. What does Venus in the eighth mean for men? It means that they attract women who, I mean, I'm just going to straight up say toxic relationships with women naturally with that eighth house influence. But that could make for some good sex, at least, at the very least. It could also create, like I said, that Venus eighth house energy can create a lot of unearned income or situations where like you just attract money. Like maybe you get approved for loans and credit and shit like that. Or what does it mean when men have Lilith in their first house? Typically, because Lilith, Black Moon Lilith in a man's chart signifies parts of like basically parts of a woman that he kind of hates, or like parts of a woman. It can manifest in like traits that a woman has that he kind of wants to like control or something. Black Moon, because I really don't place that much stock in Black Moon Lilith when I'm doing birth charts. But I mean, to have it in your first house, I've seen that manifest in a man who has issues with women who are um like basically he wants to be in control a lot, like a macho man, like if that makes sense. So women who are very like alpha women, he might not do well with the alpha woman. He might desire her physically, but it could be like a power struggle there. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So you went to South Cobb and wait, you went to South Cobb, Osborne, and Pebblebrook, nigga. What year you went to Pebblebrook? I don't remember you there. I don't remember you going to Pebblebrook. Venus, Cancer, fifth house. I mean, you might need to look at your Mars to tell you a little bit more about sex. I mean, even with that fifth house dealing with sex as well, I mean, it can make you very sexual. You might be the type to like to have sex with the same people over and over again. That Black Moon Lilith second house Scorpio can also play out in a very similar way to Mars, Scorpio Mars individuals in the sense that it's like sex might be very important to your well being. Scorpio Juno people, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like they low key be in like abusive relationship. Whenever I see somebody with their Juno and Scorpio, I like to check on them and make sure they're okay. I know it's not all, but I just be like, you straight dog? You played football for when? What year? How? When? How? I do not remember that, Carmen. Juno and Sag in a woman's chart. That tends to produce a woman who picks men who aren't really able to settle down. Or you can be in a lot of long distance relationships. Gemini, Venus, Cancer, Mercury affect how I approach love or people. It can simply because that Gemini Venus influence, like I always say, is very casual. So this could produce a like homie lover friend effect. Um, but with that Cancer Mercury, I don't know. I feel like that combination can make you somebody who's very picky, or it can be kind of tricky dating you because it gives me like I give people mixed signals type of tease. You know what I'm saying? You could be somebody like likes a person and then you change your mind over and over again. It's very difficult for you to understand how you really feel or how you want to go about pursuing somebody. But Venus Gemini individuals do tend to be very like I said, I just keep getting homie lover friends vibes because these people can be friends with the people they date too, and like keep in touch with them for a very long time. They could also be kind of flirtatious too. You sent me a picture, Carmen. Oh, this was 2008 and 9. Wait a minute. Oh, dang. Why I don't remember that? Um, I did ass don't remember that. Sagittarius moon opposing Venus and Gemini. That typically tends to have a very similar effect. In the sense that I've noticed people with those aspects tend to be very like hands off and like casual when it comes to dating and shit. Very casual when it comes to dating. You might even find that like you like a variety of different types of people. Maybe like in your mind, there's like you feel like if you're dating five different guys, it's like, okay, well, each guy has something that I like about him. You know, where it's like, I'm not gonna say you're not capable of being faithful, because I mean that's not true, but Like it's very easy for these people to be sidetracked because there's always something new. Like there's always something you're gonna like about someone else. Like it's very difficult for one person to embody everything that you want and that you need to keep you stimulated. Like, I'm talking to a guy who does this and I like him for that. And there's another guy who does this and then I like him for that. And then there's another guy who does this and I like him for that. Also, do you like exotic like men who you feel like are exotic? Like, would you be willing to date outside of your race? Because I've seen that happen. Yes, yeah, yeah. Does Mars conjoin Jupiter indicate a big deal? Yeah, it certainly does. In a man's chart, absolutely. He got a big dick and know how to use it. I love yeah, big dicks are a gift from God. So, what aspects are most important in the birth chart when it comes to sex? Well, you want to look at the way, first off, their Mars, hence, this whole live stream. You want to look at how their Mars is aspected. So, Mars and positive aspects to maybe Venus, Jupiter. I mean, look at their fifth house, the condition of their fifth house, what sign is there, what planets are there, what relationship those planets have with one another. Um, Black Moon Lilith does matter, I guess, if you're talking strictly about sex. Maybe I'll come up with like a compilation of different like or aspects verbatim and make a list, so to speak, whenever I get some time, because it's Venus square Mars. I that typically manifests in a woman's chart, somebody who has a difficult time getting along with other women. I've also noticed that this creates very like kind of hostile relationships too, like slick, love hate relationships too, like volatile relationships. Could be issues with money too, where your money burning a hole in your pocket. But the sign placement matters as well. To know your so you can understand charts and moons and stuff. Sixth house stellium, which sixth house. Does that mean you act like a Leo? Um. Well, for starters, I always say that wherever you have a stellium in your chart is where a lot of your energy and attention needs to be focused on. So having a stellium in your sixth house of Leo, I mean, it could mean that you just need to place a lot of emphasis or spend a lot of time developing your own sense of self confidence or learning how to boss up. It doesn't necessarily mean you act like a Leo, but it could maybe force you to kind of take on certain Leo qualities, like becoming a leader, or forces you to kind of, I don't know, come to terms with maybe like a boss or something in the workplace. No, don't use cafe. I hate cafe astrology. Use astro charts, Carmen. Astro-charts.com. I I just personally I just feel like cafe astrology, the way the layout is so like I feel like it makes it more complicated than it really has to be. And that's not good. All right, y'all. We done damn near been on this thing for 4 hours. 4 hours. Mars conjoined to your moon will make me have sex in an emotional way. Uh Not necessarily. It could even just mean sex is important for your like emotional well-being. right? It could deal with like you needing sex for you to feel like secure. So Mars and Taurus squaring Eros in Aquarius. Uh, I'm gonna be honest because I don't use that asteroid quite often, Eros, but I know it does deal with your sexual desires to a certain extent. I mean, I wasn't surprised if that made for a person who was queer. Astro charts, astro dash charts.com. It can. Venus conjunct Mars can make a sexually driven person. It can. It depends, Chandria. Email me at Astro World, that's Astro WERLD at gmail.com, and I'll send you some information on my rates. Pluto trine midheaven is typically good for career choices because it can make you very prominent. Maybe you'll be very popular in your career field, or maybe very respected in whatever career field. So you got a big dick and know how to use it. And make sure y'all hit that like too. And I'm gonna keep this live up. I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna keep it up. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close this bad boy out. And like I said, if you guys want to hit me up, you know where to find me. Astro World. That's Astro WERLD at gmail.com. Or if you like Twitter, you can find me on Twitter at Hood Astro Queen One, number one. And I hope you guys have a. Alicia, you're just getting into the. What the hell? You're late. Okay. So you guys have a good one, and I love you much. And I'll talk to y'all later. Okay. Bye.